Brews and Banner Podcast. Brews and Banner Podcast. What up? Welcome to Brews and Banner Podcast. I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, is the Legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
I got water, I got, juice or whatever. He's like, y'all need twin legs? Matter of fact, I do.
My question to everybody is,
does Delaware have an actual culture?
This is the podcast that we talk about beer, but we also talk about a lot of things that's happening in the world, politics, movies, anything really that comes to our mind while we're here sampling these brews. Grab a drink and pull up a chair. What up? Welcome to Bruising Banter Podcast, where the topic is the rocket and the brew. Well, that'd be the fuel. And I'm your host, Rob G, and with me, as always, the Legendary Brew Crew. What's going on, fellas?
What is going on
here? What's up,
everyone?
Rob G?
Hi. Hello.
New Belgium, 302 Yoda.
Yeah, we are in here
hi.
today. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
We are in here today.
Hi.
Yeah, we are in here today for episode 84 of Brews and Banter Podcast, and that's
I'll be
episode
confused.
20 of our social distancing series. So as always, we have special guests in the building. We're going to start where we have coffee in the building, lifestyle and food blogger. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you for coming. Welcome.
Hello, I'm well. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Good.
We just looking for
always.
cream. We just looking for cream.
You see how dark I am? Ain't no cream.
I know we ain't talking. I know Black of the Berry ain't talking about coffee, but it just goes
Talking about berries.
We also have Haidar, aka if you want IG, Thirsty Samurai Piggy, brewer.
What's up?
Welcome.
Of Lincoln's Beard Brewery. How are
Thank
you?
you very much for coming on.
Dude, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. You've been busy. Everybody's been busy.
Yeah, bless up, man. It's we still got a job, so
That's right.
Right.
That's
Go.
true.
super thankful for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, we're actually canning again tomorrow. So
Nice.
Oh.
There you go.
Good.
But like I always need to know before we get into it, I always need to know, what are we drinking today? We always start with our guest. Coffee, what are you drinking today?
So I have one that I want to show just to kind of rub it in.
hey,
Rub it in. That's for Lou. Rub it in for Lou.
It's So Angie, the undeniable Vixen, gave this to me, and I was
That
going
ain't
through
right.
my refrigerator.
That ain't right.
And I was like, oh, I heard him talk about this on the podcast.
I heard them
I'm not
talk
gonna
about
drink
this,
it,
so let me
though.
put it on his podcast. That's great. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Appreciate you. How does it taste?
I haven't tried it, and I'm not going to try it today because I'm sticking with Texas beer.
So you just put that in my
Yeah,
face?
just to do it.
Look, man, these Texas girls, these Texas women, man, I
They
swear.
petty.
Something about them, yo.
So what I'm drinking, this is a work optional lifestyle. It's a fruited sour. It's a collaboration with Grist and Smittox Brewing, who's one of my
Okay.
friends
Our boy
in
Smittox.
Texas.
Friend of the
Yeah,
pod.
so this is the first one I'm going to be drinking. Then, because I'm trying to be
What's that
good
ABV?
today and not drink too much. But this is
She got another
the
one.
key lime pie from Martin House Brewing. It's delicious.
Okay.
It's just biscuity and sour. It's just so good.
And you said from where? In-house brewery, you said?
Martin House. It's in
Martin.
Fort
Martin.
Worth.
We got a few Martin House beers on here.
Yeah.
That's it.
ABV's coffee.
I knew you were gonna ask that. They're both like 5. I'm sorry. Oh, 5.2. And
Good.
this one is 6.2. I love stouts, but I wasn't gonna do that with you guys today. Y'all not gonna catch me slipping.
Yeah, they hover at like 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
You should have had you that stout.
No.
All
I
right.
consider you a crew member, being as though at least one of your beers have surpassed Devin Aaron's threshold of 6% high.
Thank you. Okay.
Devin Aaron's threshold.
All Haidar, what are you drinking today?
You might have seen me taking a couple sips already. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
But I got the Lawyers Don't Surf. Repping the brand.
Yes,
Repping
sir.
the
All right.
brand. This label art is actually done by a very good friend of ours, David Vergiano. I can shoot you his Instagram as well. He does like a lot of creative digital marketing and stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is a 6.9% New England IPA that we double dry hopped with Grungeist and Amarillo.
Nice.
Oh, nice. All right. Lou, what are you drinking today?
I have two as well. Today, my first one is this Harpoon Wana Mango, Camp Wana Mango. It's a mango pale ale, crisp, tropical, and refreshing. Dev, it's at 5%. I apologize. 22 IBUs. 22 IBUs. It's a summertime beer. Harpoon Brewing was established in 1986. There you go. Harpoon Brewery on IG. It's gold in color, orangish a little bit, if y'all can see that.
Yeah.
And then my second beer, Dev, you're going to like this one, baby. You're going to like this one, Dev. It's an Imperial Sunshine by Blue Point Brewing Company. It's a blonde ale with oranges and natural flavors, and it clocks in at an ABV of 9.6.
Oh, okay.
You want to drink that today?
I'm going to drink that second.
You should have drunk.
Right, Lou.
12-ounce can. Pack a mean punch.
And Lou gonna be off the he gonna be off the podcast in a minute. He drink that.
That's why I'm waiting for that to be at the end. Towards the end, I'll start on it. If I stop asking questions, y'all know why.
Looks like if we do a beer share or beer exchange today, I'll be coming to you.
Yes, probably so. Probably so.
Dev, what you got?
I'm actually the first can I cracked today, and I've got 3. But of the 3, I actually cracked the same one that Thirsty Samurai cracked, which is the Lawyers Don't Surf Juicy IPA, coming in at the 6.9. That's the color of the beer, and delicious IPA. One of my favorites. Taste, pour, everything about it is delicious. The second one that I haven't cracked just yet, but will be my next pour, is the Natalie's Blueberry Lemonade.
Well, don't worry about that one because I got that one.
You got that one? Okay. Then I'm gonna let my boy explain it a little bit more when he
Just give it to him. Just give it to him.
Because I cracked it open.
All right, I'm gonna pass it over to Yoda. Perfect segue. Right?
Yeah. So because I'm for it. Whenever it say something with lemon on it, I'm for it. Like, yeah. So it hit that. Yeah, it just does something. So this is that Natalie Stain, and this is from Lincoln's Beard Brewing Company out of Miami, Florida.
Yes, sir.
Right there. This is what it look like here, and this is a sour ale with lemons and blueberries.
Sounds so good.
Can't wait.
This is delicious. It goes with
That was
good.
such a messy beer.
It's a 6.0. But this is good. Like, it reminds me of, like, I don't know if it's like a Sour Patch Kid type flavor. Like, it's
Crybaby or something like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's real good. Real good.
Do you think it's a slippery slope? So, like, if you just drink that, you could end up, with it being hovering at like, well, it's 6.
It's 6, yeah.
6.9. So you good if you sip on that all day on a hot day, huh?
Why you say it was a messy time brewing it? Why was it a messy time brewing it?
So we, like there's 2 ways to create. I mean, I get into talks with people about this a lot. Sour isn't really a style of beer. It's just a flavor descriptor. Yeah. So the way, there's 2 ways of making sour type beers, and you can either barrel age with wild fermentation or kettle sour. So what we do is we do something a little different. What we do is like we brew the base beer, and then we back sour it with citric acid. So that's the tartness that you taste in the beer.
Yeah.
And once the base beer has completely fermented out, we will hit it with whatever we decided to fruit that sour with. So this one actually we hit with blueberry concentrate, and then we bought Am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah.
So my form of measurement on this is, we hit it with 3 55-pound buckets of blueberry concentrate, and then a shit ton of dried lemon slices.
Yeah.
Dried lemon slices,
Yeah.
and then we also hit it with lemon zest as well. And the way that we circuit is, we hook up a pump to the side port and to the bottom ports of the fermenter, and then we just keep running it. But it was the lemon slices were actually clogging the pump so much that we had to then tip the brink over, because it was running through a brink. We had to tip the brink over into a mesh bag, and then go into the hop port and try to shove basically 50 pounds of lemon slices into the
Jesus.
There was lemon and blueberry everywhere.
Cheers to hard work.
So general ballpark, number of people and number of hours, because that sounds time and manpower consuming.
It's me and my boy Danny Steigerwald. I'll also link you to his Instagram as well.
Wow.
We do brew for Lincoln's Beer. That's the production center of the breweries, but there are 2 spots, and there's going to actually be a 3rd spot opening up soon.
Oh, nice.
So we're under the umbrella of Fire Pit Hospitality. Lincoln's Beer, we brew all the beer there, but where I got my start was Strange Beast, and that's where I started brewing. And that is a brew pub and pizzeria, and that's actually like 2 minutes from my house.
Oh, cool.
And the 3rd spot is going to be the same concept, different theme. Maxwell Brothers. It's going to be a kind of like speakeasy brew pub, like very sleek design, like 1950s Sears catalog type vibe, and it's that's actually going to be opening up, hopefully by the end of the year.
That's what's up.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
Hey Rob. Hey Rob.
Yes.
What are you drinking on today, sir?
I'm actually drinking the Natalie
You drinking
lemonade stand as well. Yeah, I'm drinking it in my Black Brew Culture Teku. I never know how to say it.
Just don't say it. Just say glass.
T-E-I?
T-E-K-U.
Oh, T-E-K-U.
That's a nice color,
I
man.
would say
That color
Teku.
is nice.
Right, but I'm also going to drink the Neon Tiger as well, which is the sour ale with dark sweet cherry juice and vanilla, and that is 6.0% ABV, and that is also from Lincoln's Beer Brewing Company out of Miami, Florida.
Thank you.
Florida.
That's right.
That one was actually a lot easier to do than the blueberry.
That's my beer. That's my beer that came up missing, Rob. It's Grown Legs.
Oh, okay. If you're listening, if you're listening to Swiss Beats and Tim, Flo Rida needs the verses.
Oh.
No, he don't.
He had hits. We already proved this on the podcast before.
Flo Rida.
He had one year. What was that? What year was that? 20?
It was like 3. It was 3 years going strong.
No, I mean you played that year and just kept.
Oh, that 1 year.
It was 2010.
All you need is 20 songs.
You think he got 20 songs in 3 years?
He got 20 hits.
He got 20 songs.
So real quick, she is running around the house doing stuff. That's why she can't really be on. She's actually giving me the time to be on. But Marty did want to swing by and say hi to y'all.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Sure.
Stop by the studio.
And tell us.
Yeah.
Hey.
Marty.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you guys.
She's
So
working.
you're the balance to Thirsty Piggy's Samurai's to his craziness. You're the balance.
I guess, yeah. I guess you can say that.
Who's the crazy one?
She's not even sure.
Yeah, I was about to say, who's the crazy one?
I think the best thing is people will be like, "Oh my God, you let him take pictures like that?" She's the one that actually takes the pictures.
No, but what's even more funny is that now I've been featuring him a little bit more on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And whenever he comes out in pictures with me, like the last one, I don't know if you guys saw, he was wearing a bikini, one of my bikinis, me in the backyard, and people are like, why do you do that to your husband? I'm like, bitch, I don't do shit. He doesn't do himself. I him to get into regular clothes.
Right.
Well, there you go.
She said, "That's a grown ass man." Like,
Right,
He
he
gonna
makes
do what he
man wear a
wanna do.
bikini. Who makes a man wear a bikini? Nobody. That's all his.
That's all choice. That's pure
Right.
choice
That's
all
a
the way.
whole choice.
yeah, especially his wife's bikini at that. Like,
So real quick before you do go, Marty, I said to Samurai that I really enjoy not just your posts about beer. I see that you guys, obviously eat out a lot. You've tried amazing cuisine. What draws you to these different cuisines? How do you guys like search for them, or what is it that draws you to some of these places and some of your posts that you make?
So my nationality is Hispanic, and in Hispanic culture, when people give you a hot plate of food, like let's say I say, "Hey guys, come through! Like I'm cooking dinner, and like I'm inviting you to eat." Like that's our way of saying I love you.
Got it.
So the reason why I love posting about food is because I feel like most cultures are like that as well, in their own way, and food brings people together, and then beer, wine, all these other craft drinks that you can have on the side is just a bonus on top of that. And then really what matters at the end is who you're sharing that table with, the experience. And so then within the restaurants that I always find, they're always local, small mom and pop places. Outback doesn't need me to be promoting them. And while I have worked for them, because it's Outback, everyone knows what Outback is, but I feel more in tune with working with mom and pop shops that cook amazing food, because they all have an amazing story as well, and with sharing that story, like I feel like you can kind of taste it in the food, So
you can taste that love.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
that
that
even
even
on here by herself.
Sorry?
We're gonna have to have you on the show by yourself.
You got it. We'll definitely.
I mean,
we'll
I can leave.
Right there.
Halfway through, we'll just push him out the frame and then put her in the frame.
Dara's intro. Yeah, she's gonna say hi.
Should have been a whole segment.
That kind of explains you guys. Your duo. Your love for food and the authenticity of that, and then him being a brewer and making things in the story that comes behind the characteristics in the beer. It makes sense.
And both of y'all seem like y'all real crazy, so
that's why I was like, who's crazy? Who's the crazy one?
He's crazy, okay?
Oh no, you married him.
You're married.
So you the crazy.
I'm just that crazy.
Long story short, so alongside brewing, I'm also a running coach. My point of reference is like I love running ultra marathons, so like anything 30 miles and up.
Okay.
Damn.
And
I don't like driving 30 miles.
Drink to that.
Right.
Jeez.
I can walk 30 seconds to downstairs and upstairs.
Off to the mailbox. Golly.
I was pacing one of my clients during a half marathon because I don't really care for road races. And when I run a marathon or less, I'll wear nothing but a Speedo and a pig hat. And it was the one cold day in Miami where it was raining, overcast, windy. I'm running by. This was her first half marathon that she ever ran. We have no friends in common. We've never met, like no close groups or anything. She hears my goofy laugh coming off of mile 11. And she did a triple take, like, what the fuck? Like, she sees a dude running by.
No, it's not just seeing a dude, it's seeing a 6'2" dude, hairy dude, in a pink Speedo. I was like,
what is going on?
Is this guy on crack? What is happening right
Is he on crack?
So it was serendipitous, though. That mean it was serendipitous.
I thought, like, she found out later that I do this a lot. I photobomb a lot of people's pictures if I see a camera out in public. So I actually photobombed a picture of hers. She found me on Instagram, tagged me in the picture, and I slid in those DMs. And
oh, rest is history.
He failed to mention mention is that when I saw him, there was 1 mile left to in the race. It was my first half marathon. Like you said, it was cold. It was raining. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's 1 more mile left. I'm going to walk this mile. Like, I'm done. I was finished in my mind.
Had enough.
And when I saw him, I was like, okay, this guy's basically naked. I am not stopping. I'm like fully clothed. Like, so he inspired me to finish my race. Nice. And that's the reason I found him on Instagram and I tagged him. Wasn't trying to get
hashtag MCM.
Yeah.
Definitely. He definitely slid up in there. Yup. He was looking for
She talked to a few of her girlfriends before she even tagged you.
Right. Is this nigga Harry doing this? You know, you think I should? Yeah.
How long have y'all been together?
Going on 4
We
years?
met, that race was January of 2017.
Okay.
And our first 2 dates were running dates because she didn't want to be alone with me. So
I don't want to date him.
But she still needed a chaperone.
That's hilarious.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's the weirdest shit I ever heard though, because she said she looked at him and said, "What?" Because she said most people who say, "What the fuck?" They do not look back again to even deal with the person. She's like, "What the fuck?"
Went harder about it. Yes.
That's what's up.
That's normally not an inspiration, but that's great that it was an inspiration that brought y'all together. Love it.
Dude, it's either you're running faster to get away from me, or it's you're running to catch up to me.
Yeah. You being a coach, as long as they're running, that's all that matters.
Right.
There you go. You're a good coach.
Yeah, because he inspired her to finish the race, but without even knowing. So that was
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That is good.
That's good.
That's a good story. Thanks for sharing.
And since she's not gonna plug herself, I will. Little Madi, that's her Instagram, and she is a digital marketing manager. She runs several craft beer and local mom and pop restaurants down here in Miami.
Nice.
And well, she's my manager too. She helps me with all my shit.
There you go.
Everybody needs a boss.
Work.
Right.
Yes.
Teamwork.
She's good at what she do. So I mean, hey, why not?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Are you paying her for this?
In other ways, Lou. In other ways.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Really? Like shit, you can take that back. I want money.
Why you doing that, Coffee? Why you shaking your head like that?
Listen, I'm just listening and laughing. Like I'm excited about how much fun we're gonna have today because y'all are crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be a good Sunday. It's gonna be a good Sunday.
What a way to kick it off.
We all have everybody on now. Nobody's
Madi's on. She ain't gonna. She not gonna really got it.
Yeah.
She said, "Hold on, let me go get a drink."
I should stay here. You guys are fun.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and if Madi, if you need to pop in and out to, continue on what you have to go on, we're here 2 hours at least. So, hey.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Samurai, just in case you don't feel like you are enough, man. You're enough. Just in case you didn't think so. You're enough.
Thank you.
That was inspirational. Like, we don't really need you on the pod. He said that earlier. Nah, you're enough. You're enough.
Right. Absolutely. He's a presence all by himself. So
he said he gonna get a t-shirt. I'm enough.
I mean, any man that wears a Speedo.
Crazy.
That's a brave heart right there. That's
right.
brave
Any
heart.
man that wears a Speedo
Get a pair of Speedos with that on there. Get a pair of Speedos that read "I'm enough" on them.
Oh my gosh.
That would be.
What I will say is that what I like between Madi and myself is that like you had I had heard one of you say it that I have my own personality and I'm my own presence. Mm-hmm. We feed off of each other, but what I love is I don't know if y'all have had friends in that instance where they start dating someone and then they just it's just them two, right? And there's no one else in the world. You lose contact, you lose reach, you don't hear from them. You don't hear from them until they break up or something, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love about us is we do our own things. You know what I mean? Like I go to work, she goes to work. When we come home, we're together, we're with each other. But we have our own friends. We're our own people.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's my best friend.
Yeah,
she's my best friend, and that's something that, you know, before I did propose to someone, or you know, before even marriage was on my mind, that's something I wanted. I wanted like someone that I can like laugh with, cry with, you know, do whatever, and like, but at the same time, not to be like, you have to be with me all the time.
Right.
You know,
Right.
We give each other space when we need it. We're together when we, you know, when we want, and we're our own people, and that's, you know,
that's what's up.
Keep that up. It'll last.
Yeah, that's definitely I don't want to say challenge, but it is a balance, to have that balance of, you know what I mean, what y'all have together, but understanding that, hey, you guys did coexist or have existence before, so you want to keep those relationships and everything that's, you know, that ultimately, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever let her give you any input on your brew, on what you decide the brew?
I don't need
shit.
She is my
don't need to say. Go with the feel. I'll do the same.
And John Legend.
That's how this works.
I heard a love story. I'm just playing love music.
I thought this was a relationship episode. This is a relationship.
I was great.
I'm on the wrong episode.
Where'd that come from?
Right.
They got their own soundtrack. What the hell is this about?
He was telling a beautiful love story, so I needed some
background music. He definitely needs some ambiance. You gave him
but to Haidar's point, it's correct. I mean, and even to the question in terms of the input, I think we all probably have input throughout our lives, whether it's for the podcast, for us guys, or for, you know, for food, for brewing, just anybody that you share a lot of quality time with, and you start to share, whether it's work or fun or whatever, they want to give their input. They want to give you some type of kind of their perspective of how you could be better or make something better. And I think that's just kind of a natural part or characteristics of most people if you're, you know, investing in other people or a person. So.
That's why I asked the question. So she help you out some?
She is my, I mean, you know that saying, you're your own worst critic? She is much harsher than I am.
Oh, she's
wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting
Which I do appreciate, because I work off criticism, and you know, I tell people all the time, like, yo, if I'm going to actually, since y'all are here, I would love to send you some. I was gonna be pouring them on later. I did the altogether recipe as a homebrew with some friends, and then I did the Black is Beautiful recipe as a homebrew. With Marty, actually.
Awesome.
Nice.
And we did no frills, no chills. Like, we just did the straight, you know, recipe as it was built.
Okay.
And, you know, I would like to send it to you guys to see what y'all think.
Oh, we would like to have it.
And we will tell you what we
Copy you too. I'm going to be sending some shit out to Texas. So.
Thank you. I love beer. Thank you.
Right. And she already said that she's a fan of stout, so.
Yeah, she did.
There you go.
Can't lose.
It's true.
And Samurai, you got the address, but we could text obviously offline once, you know.
Yeah, I'm actually for like, I mean, for a lot of people that probably don't know, but I'm 100% Lebanese. So I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway tomorrow. I'm going to be hosting a giveaway for the Altogether beer.
Okay.
And then the week after, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the Black is Beautiful beer.
Okay.
I actually own a recognized 501c3 nonprofit, Samurai Piggy and Friends, and that is geared towards children with disabilities, special needs, cancer, diabetes, and the less fortunate. So I host events here and there, and I'll raise money. The first event that I did was for St. Jude's, and I raised over $3,000.
Good.
I ran for 24 hours, but that was
How can you run that long?
I actually didn't. So I was on pace to run 100 miles in the 24 hours, and then at about mile 60, my ankle popped. So I hobbled for 15 more miles, and I got 75 miles in under the 24 hours.
You got
Still
75
amazing.
miles in 24 hours on a bad ankle,
Amazing.
on a
Well,
bum.
no. Like I was good up until 60, and then,
Right, that's
and
what I'm
then
saying. You did 15 miles on a bum. First
On a
of all,
bum
you
wheel.
did
That's crazy.
75 miles in a day. Like that's wow.
That's
Close.
way
But
too
that's
much.
the goal, man. Like I want to get back into, like my life kind of veered off with not that it veered off, but like I've been focusing on my craft and brewing and perfecting my what I work with, and I definitely want to get back into like the running thing and like the events don't have to be geared towards running, but like these giveaways, like the way that I'm kind of finding that loophole is donate to the charity and then that'll be an entry and then on the you want a beer.
Right.
That's a good way also merging both of you, all three things that you like to do, the giving
Yeah.
back, the running and the beer. Like that's a great way. Like you can always find that's a niche that you have that not too many people in this industry are all doing all three of those things.
Right.
Nobody, I don't think how many people in the beer industry are running 30-mile? Nobody.
Brandon is in there. Brandon Montgomery.
He's ultra though. He's not running 30 miles. He's running. I think he said the half and maybe the marathon.
I just thought of him when that thing was running.
All of it's more than what I'm running.
We know two now. Right. We only knew one. Now we know two.
Now we know two. Sure.
Right. All right. Oh, well, it looked like we didn't start, but we actually did start this podcast.
Yeah, we interviewed. That was
Our format changes.
It's no format.
I love it.
I did say it was free flowing.
Right.
I think I always do say it's free flowing. But we do want to know more about you, Coffee, as well. So we want to know how you got started in food blogging and got into craft beer, all that stuff. So the floor is yours. Yeah, and the lifestyle. That's
Tell
right.
us anything you want.
Okay, so I'll tell you how I got. My name is Amina, but everyone calls me calls me Coffee. Thank you.
Yeah.
When I was in college, my name is a little difficult, so I came up with a nickname because I wanted to be a DJ. So I was DJ Coffee Brown, and not a DJ.
Did you DJ once? Did you ever do it?
So I actually bought all the equipment and I was training. I was an intern at a radio station and I was training, like literally training to be a DJ. But I was in junior college, and when I went to big college, I just lost interest because I just had fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But literally. But the name just stayed, so I'm Coffee. But
do you still have the equiment?
No, I sold it.
Oh.
Okay.
I used my graduation money from high school to buy it, and I sold it. Yeah, I sold it.
I mean, it's not too late to bring it back up. Yeah, you can get back in.
I'm good. I have too many hobbies now. It's like, and then your hobbies are expensive. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a good segue into like lifestyle. So what did change from junior college to big college to that's what she called it. Hey, that's what she called it.
I know.
That's what she called it.
Real college.
I'm gonna go on
Senior,
my word.
if it's junior college, wouldn't that be senior college? I don't know.
I mean,
You know what I'm talking about.
Junior.
I'm just joking.
But so how did I get into this?
Yeah.
So I'm very friendly. I never meet a stranger.
That's what's up.
And I just kind of got tired of people being like, hey, how come you didn't tell me you're doing X or Y or whatever? So I formed a group of friends on Facebook, and we have brunch together and things like that. And then they were like, oh, you should start posting about the things that you eat and the things that you do. And I'm like, no one's going to be interested in that. But I was like, let's try it and see. And I love food. I love to travel. Like she was saying earlier, her name is Maria.
Madi.
Yeah. Like Madi was saying earlier, I really am very small businesses have a special place in my heart. So when I go out, I just really like to focus on small businesses, beautiful cuisine, because like my motto is life is too short to eat bland food. And I really enjoy trying different things and just the whole food experience. Like food is love. You said that earlier, and literally food is love. So I just really enjoy it. And traveling is a big part of my life. not right now. But I am going to Colorado in a few weeks.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I went actually earlier this year, and I'm gonna go back in a few weeks with my mother. That's my best travel partner. And then after that is y'all's friend, the undeniable Vixen. But I'm going to Colorado. We're gonna just go have fun and release.
Yep.
But that's pretty much it. I love food. I love beer. How did I get into beer? So I'm frugal. And I like
if you like to travel, you got to figure out other, make it economically work. Makes sense.
Listen, and it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I moved to Texas by myself.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from New York. I grew up in Mississippi. I moved there when I was 13, and I've lived in Texas since I was 25. And I moved here because I wanted to make more money, and I was kind of at the point with my job that I couldn't get any higher. So I was like, I'm gonna move to Texas. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have a job. I just saved my money and applied, and thank God I got a job right before I moved. But it was a good job, but I needed a little bit extra money to kind of make things, neat. So I started to be a brand ambassador, and I did for wine. And then I met my friend Sherry, and she introduced me to being a brand ambassador for beer. And I didn't drink beer. I was like, beer was Bud Light, and Bud Light tastes like piss water. So I was like, I don't want beer. But if you're going to pay me to sell this beer, I'm going to sell this beer. Right. And then I found the world of craft beer. Yeah. I found the world of craft beer, and I fell in love. Nice. And that's how me and Angie were friends. And I was working a craft beer festival. We needed help. I was like, hey, you want to come make some money?
Oh, you're the friend.
Oh, yeah, she told us the story.
You're the friend.
So that's how she got into craft beer. And so our craft beer, like, you'll hear me reference her a lot because she's my sister. We're not blood related, but she's my sister. Right. In our craft beer journey, we do a lot of things. We travel together. She was over here last night. We were drinking Black is Beautiful together. So that's my sister and my craft beer sister. So yeah.
What's up? We got both sides of the story now.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, I heard this story before.
Yeah.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah. But that's how it happened. And she started doing brand ambassadoring. And now I've kind of chilled out and I'm more focused on food. But she's my beer friend. Yeah. So I love it. We have our lanes and we support each other.
That's dope.
Yeah, because y'all together at Fresh Fest, right?
Yeah, that's where we met you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen. That was a fun time, and I don't remember everything, but it was a good weekend.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah, as much as we talk about Fresh Fest, the whole meeting people outside of the people that we were working interviewing, I got this blur around me when it comes to I guess I was just drinking.
I wasn't.
He said I was drunk, but I remember everybody I met.
Me too. But they swear it down that me and Rob was the drunk ones.
Yeah, I still do. I don't have a problem remembering the people. That's
bad. I'm bad then because I must have been worse off than I thought.
I think we only met Rob and Yoda. I don't think we met you, Devin.
Yeah. I was about to say I must have came when my general admission passed.
I came in with GA too. Angie had the VIP. I came in GA.
GA is
because coffee was with Angie when I drank out of Angie's glass.
Right.
You know what? But the beauty of Fresh Fest was that just meeting all of the people. That was seeing people that look like you, that are into beer and are passionate about it, and then seeing brewers that look like you. I fell in love. I was like, where y'all been?
Right. Where y'all been?
Yeah. And then we have a really nice community here in Texas, so that's fun as well. So it's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, it's cool. Now, you said you were from New York. What part of New York are you from? Queens? No, I'm just joking.
No.
Bronx.
So I'm half Jamaican and half American. My mother was born in Jamaica and moved here when she was a child. But I'm from Long Island.
Okay. Long Island. Okay. Huh.
But I consider myself a Southerner.
Right. Well, if 13.
Mississippi,
and I love Mississippi.
Well, look, Do the math.
Yeah, I have.
Do the math.
So you got to Texas when he was 25.
13 Mississippi, 12 years of New York, and then Texas. So she technically got Southerners in her as beat by 1 year.
I thought she was only 20.
Oh, thank you, love.
She put that out there. She put that out there. Deb was right.
Thank you. No, I'm 36. I'll be 37 this year. I'm proud of my age, honey. I earned these years.
Right.
Black don't crack.
Yeah, you younger than all of us.
Yeah, that is true. She is younger than all of all the guys.
I don't know, Samurai Piggy.
Earlier, you said you love stouts. You love stouts. What do you? What's your favorite pairing, like food and beer pairing?
Okay, so stouts were my introduction. I have their glass North Coast. Are y'all familiar?
No, I'm not.
North Coast, I've never heard of it.
So,
Brother Thelonious?
Yeah, I know them.
Well, that was my first beer that I fell in love with, and I just love stouts. My favorite beer pairing is fried fish and a really light wheat beer. That's just for me.
That's a really good pairing.
Yeah.
That is. That sounds good.
Yeah, fried fish, or even a fried chicken with a nice wheat beer. I love anything with citrus. Who said that earlier?
Me, well, a lot of us, yeah.
Yeah, I love anything with citrus.
Orange juice. This 9.6 tastes like alcoholic orange juice.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, you are drinking alcohol.
Yeah. the orange flavor is overbearing. It's very, very orange.
Got a cocktail.
More than I've ever had. I want to taste Hadar's blueberry because he said he's dumping blueberries and lemons. I want to taste that.
Well, that's
how this oranges. They just dump orange peels in it.
So
that's that.
So
by the way, that label, that is the my boss, John Falco, before I even got into brewing, because prior to being a brewer, I was a civil engineer.
Oh,
so,
nice. Wore many hats.
Right.
Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
What was great was, when Madi and I first met, I was a civil engineer and she was doing she had just started digital marketing. She was actually in med school.
Oh.
One day she goes, "Hey, would you hate me if I quit medicine?" And I was like, "No."
No, because I'm about to quit this civil engineer.
she goes, I want to do digital marketing. I'm like, go for it, man. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I gave her a timeline. I was like, look, you got 6 months, find a client.
Yeah.
And that was her motivation to start chasing clients and reaching out to people and doing all that good stuff.
That's what's up.
So now turnaround, we got married in March of 2018. 2019. And I actually proposed to her in Springfest. We went to Springfest in Germany, and I proposed to her in Prague.
Oh, nice.
Or Budapest, sorry. It was Budapest. We went to Prague on our honeymoon.
She must be in the back like Budapest.
Doesn't really matter.
She does now. We can't see it.
Poking him in the back. Poking him in the back.
Right. It doesn't matter the city if you took her to Europe to do it.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So
Prague is good though.
Huh?
I did my.
I said Prague is a good city though.
Yeah. We actually went there for our honeymoon. We hit Prague, Belgium, and Paris. I told her she wasn't gonna like Paris, but she was like, "I want to go." And then we went, and she's like, "I don't like it."
See? That good old "I told you so."
I told you that.
Wasting my time.
So yeah, come full circle. John and I, we had a very good relationship because he was one of my supporters during that St. Jude's thing that I put on.
Okay.
And I had been going to the Beard for such a long time. Madi and I, we actually got married at Lincoln's Beard, and this is prior to me even getting a job as a brewer. We were just really good friends with John. We asked him if we can rent out the mezzanine, and he was like,
second brewer.
He goes, "Only if I can officiate." And I was like, "Dope." So he actually officiated our wedding.
Nice.
That was in March. And then in June, he was like, "Hey, I want you to be the head brewer over at Strange." And I was like, "Fuck."
Dope.
And then now come full circle, I'm actually brewing at Strange. And, not the best of salary jumps from civil engineer to brewer,
Right.
but you know, I got Sugar Mom in the back supporting me now. So
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure Ryan Seacrest is listening, so here he come with that reality show on
Hey,
I know where you was
manifestation.
going when you said Ryan Seacrest. I'm like,
That's how that life sounds like a reality
Right,
show.
it do.
It definitely
With
does.
this,
I was thinking more American Idol, but yeah, that's perfect.
so who drew this on the can?
that is actually so. Natalie is John's daughter.
Okay.
And she, John, like, you know, during like, if you had seen our, in the beginning of the year, so like January or like the last week of December, there was like a split in Lincoln's Beer. There used to be 6 owners.
Okay.
And John and Todd, the two who started Strange Beast, they, you know, there was always a split. They were always arguing. They were always like, you know, they couldn't really decide on anything. So there was one day that John just left, or like he left the meeting and he was sitting at a bar and he texted Todd. He's like, hey, you know, if you want to meet me here for a drink and like for a talk, I'm here. Todd went there, and then that's how Strange Beast was formed. They sat down there. They decided the concept. They decided the brew pub. They wanted to be in West Kendall. They wanted to bring something out here because there's not much, and they split from like they still remained owners, but they had no like decision on anything.
Okay.
So they started Strange Beast. The Lincoln started to suffer, and then they came back and they bought out the rest of the owners from Lincoln's Beard.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
like, and John, like Falco, like Lincoln's Beard was actually his baby. You know what I mean? Like he actually wanted to start that brewery.
Yeah.
So I was only brewing at Strange from June to December. And then when they went back and they bought out Lincoln's at the end of the year, I started brewing at Lincoln's because we have the production facility there.
Yeah.
So in like the first week of January, I met with Danny, my co-brewer, and I was like, hey, so, you know, like how's canning here? Because the last time that they had canned was in August, and then the before that I don't really remember. I think they canned one more time earlier in the year of 2019, but like I wasn't really sure how many times that they had canned. And he's like, oh, you know, it's not really like a priority. We're just trying to brew and like, you know, get beers on tap. And then like, you know, we're brewing for a 15 tap system at Lincoln's and then for a 12 tap system over at Strange. So we were kind of like, oh, you know, we'll can every quarter, you know, we'll can once in a while. COVID hit. So you know, it was a to-go only type thing. So everybody started, you know, moving, and you know, we don't have a canning line, so we have to reach out to Ironheart to pick a date so they can come through and we can can.
Run a can.
And we went from the concept of canning 4 times a year to canning 4 times in like 2 months. You know, so we were just basically brewing 2 canned beers so we can do good to-go sales. So this long roundabout story is basically the fact that we had like a quarantine selection of labels because we couldn't really pay an artist to do anything. So it's just like a color. Like each different beer would be a color and like a blue color with caution tape on the top and bottom.
Okay.
And, you know, coming out of quarantine, John is still doing most of the labels himself, but there's 3 coming out tomorrow that one I'm not really a big fan of, but he wanted to do it. And so we're actually tomorrow releasing our Old News Pilsner again. That's a German style Pils. We're releasing the Constitutional Right Raspberry Lime Sour.
Okay.
And I am not a fan of
That's
that
the
label.
one you're not a fan
Really?
of.
That's the Karens and the Chads and oh, I don't need to wear a mask. So the actual I in right is a Karen like screaming with
Shit. I need that.
I am not a fan
I like it now.
whatsoever.
Me too.
That's cute.
I need to see
We
that.
have
See the can.
triple IPA that we're releasing as well.
Okay.
But yeah, so you know, John wanted to move away from the single colored labels, and he told his daughter, he's like, hey, I want you to draw a label. I want to feature, your art on our labels. That's why, it's pointing like, hey, I'm Natalie. So that's John's daughter who designed that label.
How old is she?
She is young. She's like 8, 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't say she was like 23 because that'd have been
that would have ruined the story.
Yeah, I'd have been pissed.
That's how my picture would have looked because I can't draw. So
drawing is horrible, huh?
listen,
if you could cut art class, you would have cut it, huh?
listen.
Like, I'm Natalie. I'm 23. Like, get out of here.
Right. Now, Coffee, you said you like to travel. Like, what's your favorite destination?
Part about that thing, like she's just, it's me, Natalie, selling the lemonade.
So the place that I enjoyed the most was Italy. I want to go back. So this year, the podcast that Angie was on, so was Brandon, and he was talking about Japan and the beer scene in Japan.
Right.
I was supposed to be in Japan in October.
I was supposed to be there in May.
So when he was talking about the beer stuff, I was like, Angie was like, oh, you need to listen. She's on it, but she was like, you need to listen for the beer things. I'm like, but I already knew that. Like, we had that on our itinerary. And she wasn't interested in going because she's like, we just went to an Asian country. She wanted to go somewhere different. And so when she heard that, she's like, oh, I want to go, but COVID. So we're just going to go next year. But Italy, the food, the wine, that is my favorite country. Magical. I had the most fun there. It was magical.
Coffee, are you more focused now on food? And
Yes, she was.
In the pairings?
So I'm more focused on food.
Yeah.
And with quarantine, I've been doing a series called Quarantine Beer and cleaning out my stash because I have a lot of stouts that I just collect or people give me because they love me, and I've just been cleaning out my stash this quarantine season, so that's been fun. But I really don't pair my beer with my food. They're separate. They're separate.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you do a lot of cooking? Cooking?
So you see I'm smiling.
Yeah, that's a
I can cook.
Okay.
I don't,
You don't like to get the kitchen. You like to keep the kitchen real HGTV. Real
I don't like the cleaning up part of cooking. I don't like cleaning up. And then also, so I live by myself. So it's like I'm cooking all this food for me. I don't know.
Well, you can still just make enough for yourself.
But okay, so here's what I do. I go to Mississippi a lot, especially now that I can't travel. I'll just go to my parents' house and sit on their sofa. So when I go home, I cook at my parents' house. And I love it. Because then it's like we have all this food. They can eat it. So I love cooking when I go home and they enjoy it, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, I can cook. I don't really like cooking for myself.
Is that a drive or a flight?
It's 6-hour drive.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
No.
Not bad at all. That's from
Dude, that's 6 hours is the same time
Carolina,
you getting
Charlotte,
to the airport, you waiting, like.
Yeah, from Delaware to Charlotte, that's a 6-hour drive, so that's reasonable.
Hey, Coffee, let me know when you're going to Japan next year.
I will.
We'll talk.
Okay, because listen, I have a whole itinerary because I'm a planner. So yeah, it's gonna.
I got my passport stamped. I'm ready.
Listen, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we should do a podcast in Japan.
Yo, I'm in, yo. I'm in.
Are we going to Japan now?
It sounds like we are.
We are.
Okay, so this actually, me and my mother take a trip every 2 years. My mother, I told you she's my favorite. I'm gonna make this very quick because it can get lengthy. We take a trip every 2 years, and people were like, "Oh, like y'all look like you're having so much fun. We want to come." So we started bringing people. The last trip we went to was Thailand 2 years ago, and it was 15. It was 10 of us, and we had an amazing time. So this was every 2 years, so we were supposed to go to Japan. So, but yeah, every 2 years, it's just a bunch of us, and we just take a trip and have
Now,
fun.
with you, Coffee, I'm noticing that you keep picking Asian countries, and Undeniable Vixen says she doesn't like Asian countries. Are you?
No.
Well, no, she just said she didn't want to do it to another one. She already been there, so she wanted to try.
Right, because she now picked Taiwan 2 years ago, and now 3 years. Thailand. I'm sorry, Thailand. But that's an Asian country, and then you're going to Japan, another Asian
So,
country. How do you pick your countries?
Taiwan.
I
that's
love
the middle
Asian
from up the
food.
street.
Like, love Asian food.
Okay.
And so Thailand was my choice.
Okay.
And then with so many people that went last time, I had them pick. We voted. And I didn't vote on purpose because I wanted to go to all of the options. And then they got mad at me because since I didn't vote, we're going to Japan. But I'm happy about it. But had I voted, we would have went to Greece. So either way, but they're like, why didn't you vote? I was like, because I wanted y'all to pick.
So how many of you guys in this whole voting pool?
Well, I was about to ask that. Do you curate these trips? Or are you the one that's doing the curating of these?
Yeah. So
what are you, a travel agent?
Good idea.
No. This
DJ and travel agent.
Listen, you have to have many of them. But
that's right.
She's wearing more hats than I do.
So I'm the friend. Like I'm very resourceful. I think that's the best way to put it. Like people know that if they need something, that I may not know. Yeah, like you gonna figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Or I know someone that knows someone. I'm very resourceful. I'm not a travel agent, nor do I want to be. But I just I really enjoy bringing.
You don't mind
together.
like looking up stuff like, yo, I found these flights. It's like round trip is looking at like 600. You can't beat that. Like, who's with me? Who want to jump on it?
How do we
get
That sounds like a what you call it.
How do we get on this email travel list?
It says ladies only. Ladies only.
No. It's open. No, it's open to anyone. But the only thing is,
you gotta live in Texas. Why are you so shocked?
No.
Wait.
What is this? Oh my God, it's coming.
What happens? What happens at these trips?
What is going on?
You gotta sign an NDA. You have to sign an NDA. On
no.
You gotta be ready for the grand finale orgy.
It's open to anyone. Age.
You gotta get jumped in.
No.
Go ahead, say it, Coffee.
What is the
it's open to anyone, any age.
Yeah.
But I prefer if we all mesh together well, because there's nothing worse than paying your money, being on a trip, and not having fun because you have someone on the trip that.
It's a downer.
Right.
Yeah.
So she said she'll fuck with you, Lou.
Can't have no
Right.
Debbie.
Already, and she said, "I'm out."
No, see, anybody can come, but here, and you guys, everybody on here knows.
Uniform fart can in my face, and then said, "I'm out." Like you just kicked me out.
Yeah.
No.
You did. It happened on the podcast.
25 people say they're gonna go, but when I don't consider anybody going until you buy your airline ticket,
right?
And then you have
airline
to stay,
ticket.
yeah, because everyone wants to go until they're like, oh, I have to pay $1,200, $1,000.
Right.
No.
Then you get a little stuttering like Joe. You're stuttering.
I was like, what?
Who the fuck is Joe?
Yep.
I can tell you're lying from when you replying.
Literally.
Now, Thirsty, how did you decide you didn't want to do civil engineering again? I guess I should have.
No, so before I get to that, this is a pour of the altogether that I did.
Okay, that's
It's
nice.
beautiful.
That is beautiful. That's that IPA, right?
That was the
IPA.
other half collab.
Yeah.
So it's actually funny, when Mari and I first started dating, she started doing the food blogging thing and everything, and I would go with her to restaurants. So while she was talking with the chefs, while she was talking to the owners, while she was taking pictures and all that stuff, I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting to eat because you brought me along for food. I'm here for let's eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go. So, there was one restaurant that it was in Brickell that they're actually, it's sad to say, not open anymore. But I was trying some Peruvian beers, and I was like, I could actually get, because at this point I was already into craft beer. And I was like, you know, I could actually really get into this, like, you know, taking pictures, blogging, writing about beers and stuff, like Madi does so with food. So I just started doing that. That's how, you know, Thirsty Samurai Piggy came about. I started, you know, reaching out to places every time we traveled. I would reach out to breweries, and, you know, I would go in, take a tour, you know, start writing and doing all that good stuff. And, you know, little by little, it started to increase. And last year, I got my BJCP.
Okay.
I'm a recognized BJCP.
Nice.
I also got a level 2 Cicerone.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually call yourself a Cicerone. You can actually call yourself.
And yeah, man, it's, you know, like talking about the food and the beer, I actually have hosted several beer pairing dinners. So, and, you know, that's something that I want to do now, like, you know, when restrictions are loosened a little bit. I want to host some stuff at Lincoln's, you know, with the beers that we're putting out. And yeah, I mean, that's really how I got into it. It's honestly because of Madi. You know, I went from, you know, being a civil engineer, and, like, you know, if I think about it like this, if like Madi and I had never met on that day, or if I never, you know, slid into her DMs or whatever, and like we never started dating, and she never like took that leap of going from med school to digital marketing, I would probably still be sitting behind a desk, you know,
doing schematics and all that other stuff.
I really had, like, I did homebrew here and there, but it was nothing that, like, oh, you know, I could do this for a living, you know?
All right. So y'all really
you
changed
had
each
a
other's
question,
lives.
I think, right?
I did. How did you get your name?
Yeah, that was my next question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you
Oh,
got it.
you good. That's
Okay.
why you like this banter.
Before I started running in Speedos, I did actually wear clothes while I ran. The first race I ever did was a 5K obstacle course race that we had here at the Miami Metro Zoo. And 3 friends of mine, we dressed up as they bought me a shirt because, like, we were going to run it together. And we dressed up as the 3 little pigs.
Aww.
So I was Piggy 3. I had the pink shirt. It was very uncomfortable, but I was wearing like a pig nose, and they even had like little pig ears that we had on our heads. And I wore that for maybe, like, I loved, you know, I fell in love with I was already into running, but I fell in love with obstacle course racing after that event. And I did like maybe 2 or 3 more races. And then one of my best friends that he lives up like 3 hours north of Miami, I saw him, and he was known as the OCR Panda because he would wear nothing but a Speedo and a panda hat. So we actually became Panda and Piggy because we would travel the United States and run obstacle course races together and wear nothing but Speedos. So it was funny because there was one race that he was going to come down, but he ended up getting sick, so he bailed on it. He goes, "Yo, wear a Speedo for me." I'm like, "All right, I have one, like, you know, lying around somewhere." Yeah. So I threw on the Speedo, I ran the race, and then the rest was history. So I was the OCR Piggy for a while, but there was, like, you know, this was maybe 6 months or so after it was another race that I was doing. I was wearing, I was already in the Speedo and pig hat, like the pig Laplander hat that I have. And I had taken off my hat real quick, and, you know, like, I mean, I don't have it anymore now, but I used to have a man bun, like my hair was pretty fucking long. Yeah. And when I took it off, there was this, I'll never fucking forget this. There was this dude that walked by. He goes, "Damn, man, you look like Samurai." I was like, "Yo, Samurai Piggy, that's a fucking dope ass name." So Samurai Piggy was like, I had a page that was just dedicated to running, and, like, you know, I'm also 2 fun facts. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I've been diabetic since the age of 2. Okay. And I actually am in remission and beat cancer back in 2012.
Wow, man!
Okay, congratulations on that.
So yeah, I still got the thyroid cancer, but, you know, I still got the scar.
Wow.
And yeah, so Thirsty, like, Samurai, like, I used to have a page just dedicated to that, but I was, you know, putting so much time into Thirsty Samurai Piggy that, you know, I just, you know, closed the other page. But yeah, like, Samurai, like the Thirsty Samurai Piggy just came from the drinks, you know, and I didn't want to like kind of, you know, put a chokehold on what I would drink. So I just, instead of like beer Samurai Piggy or, you know, anything like that, I just did Thirsty Samurai Piggy to be all inclusive of all drinks. And that's
if you want
good story.
And it describes the way you slid up in Marty's DM.
It's thirsty.
You know, it's funny. Like there's I mean, if I'm not like, you know, you don't have to follow me on Facebook, but like it's another quick little story. Mari and I, we went to GABF last year as media representatives for, you know, for our pages and stuff. And when I was standing in line, and this is the story I'm going to tell my kids. When I was standing in line at Black Project, James was there, the owner and the brewer, and I walk up to him. I'm like, dude, I'm such a big fan. I love your beers. Like all the wilds you put out are fucking amazing. And he looked at my name tag. He goes, I know you. And I was like, yeah, you know, down in Miami, I'm a brewer. I'm a friend of Marco from Unseen Creatures, and you know, like we've talked, like, you know, slightly here and there. And he goes, no, that's not where I know you from. You're on Facebook, right? You post all those fucking memes. I was like, that's me.
I'm the meme guy.
Mari rolled her eyes so hard. She saw because, like, you know, at night, like, I'm just sitting there, like, posting memes and shit, and she's just like, I'll show her like 2 or 3, and she'll be like, okay, like, I don't care, you know, like,
that's enough.
So the story I'm gonna tell my kids is I have that meme saved. It's like, oh, how did you and mom meet? And it's the guy sliding into the DMs.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yo, with you being Lebanese, like, was there any beer growing up around in your family?
So I was actually born and raised here in Miami. And, you know, I have been to Lebanon like a bunch of times. So it's you know, it was cool that my parents, you know, kept that back. It took us back and like let us have that connection with, you know, where they were both from. And, you know, there is the Almaza. That's like the most known beer. And I mean, Lebanon is a real interesting place because, you know, the civil war that broke out in the 80s, that was between the Christians of Lebanon and the Muslims of Lebanon. So, you know, depending on where you go, you know, there's very Muslim portions, there's very Christian portions. But in the downtown center, what's fucking beautiful is that, you know, there's a mosque, a synagogue, and a church, all in the same vicinity in 3 different corners of that downtown center. So, while there is a lot of racism, you know, between the religions and between the people, you know, that civil war broke out. So my parents, they were, you know, the Hashims are like a very big family in Lebanon. And while, you know, we are of the, you know, Shiite Muslim religion, like we weren't really strict or practicing. So, you know, I was raised as like, you know, a normal, you know, American. In any terms of the sense. So like I ate pepperoni pizza, you know, my dad, he would drink, you know, Budweisers and stuff. I think one of the best things that I could, you know, like that really gave me like a sense of pride was for Father's Day, I gave my dad a 4-pack of like some of the beers that we had been canning. And the first beer that he picked up was the see-through Czech pills that we did with Old Ox. And he goes, my dad, I love doing his accent.
Do the accent. Do it.
He goes, a Czech Pilsner. And my little sister, he goes, hello, remember when we were in Prague? Bro, he cracked that shit open. He took that to the face. He didn't share with anybody. And I was like, man, that's awesome, dude.
That's what's up.
Great.
I actually worked for my dad. My dad's a civil engineer as well. I worked for my dad. Like, and that's where I, like from 2007 to 2019, I was working as a civil engineer. And, you know, I sat down and like, that was probably one of the hardest conversations I ever had to have. It was like, I sat down and talked with my dad.
He said, you loser.
No, my heart's doing that anymore. you know, like I did get a job offer, and I just wanted to give you like a month notice. You know, like I'm gonna be a brewer. And he goes, well, I think you're a fucking idiot, but you know, sure, I guess if that's what you want to do. You know, like,
Right.
I was like, you know what? That's the best answer I could have hoped for.
Right.
And then a couple years later, he drinks the beer for Father's Day.
Like, yo, you know what? Now you that son that he can talk about. You know, once you make it and whatever you decide to do, different from what they kind of have in their vision or their mind for you, you that son they talking about.
Yeah.
Or that kid. You know what I mean?
What's also funny is that my parents also tell me I can't post pictures because there's family in Lebanon that are going to see me in my Speedo.
Too late for that.
A little too late.
Yeah, it was you know, it wasn't really. So my dad actually stayed through the Civil War, and, it was funny. So he, you know, he was about to go to college, and the colleges in Lebanon are very like high class kind of places. So it's like you got to know someone to get in. And while like the Haitians were kind of prominent, like they didn't have that many connections. So he applied to UCLA, LSU, and UM, and he said whatever school I hear back from first, that's the school I'm gonna go to. And it just happened to be UM. So he, you know, packed his bags and he came over.
Came here.
My mom.
In any of those cities, you would have grew up in any of those cities had your dad got accepted first. Wow.
Yeah, I could have been over in Cali. I could have been, you know, over in Louisiana. You know, it would have been a completely different story.
Right.
Yep.
And dude, my dad, he actually had during the Civil War. So he's a big car guy. Okay. And he's like, yeah, you know, growing up, I had this 3 IROC Zs. I'm like, 3, like, you know, if you're changed the first couple times, like, why'd you get 3? He goes, bro, they kept using my car as fucking cover during the war, so I had to buy a new one. He actually had, dude, like it's crazy how, like, you know, just any other like particular inch or movement you make. My grandfather, his name was Haidar as well. He was sitting on his balcony, and a sniper shot, and it grazed his neck.
Oh, wow.
So if it was just an inch backwards, he would have been dead. My dad had a rocket fly into his room that didn't explode.
Oh, wow.
They got the fuck out of the house, and like it just never detonated.
What it just it just hit into boom?
Yeah, it just went in, it just went blah. And then he woke up, he's like, what the fuck? Yeah, and they got the fuck out of the house.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a blessing.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
So, you know, like he stayed through the whole war, and then he came here for college. My mom, her family had left before the war had started, and they just ended up.
Father met in America.
Yeah, they actually. So my mom went to FIU, and my dad was at UM, and you know, like I feel like there's a lot of Lebanese people everywhere because they're fucking jackrabbits.
Yeah.
And you know, there's always a sense of community like between Lebanese people. So my dad actually started the UM Lebanese chapter of, you know, people, and a friend of a friend, you know, knew a mutual friend between my parents, knew both of them. And they knew that my mom was single. They knew my dad was single. So like, he's like, oh, you got to meet this, you know, you got to
an arranged marriage, like the Indian matchmakers. They just matched them up. Yeah, somebody was the Cupid.
Yeah, and that's how they met, and you know, they've been together ever since. It's I'm the oldest of 4.
Wow. Nice.
Okay. All right.
So I know this beer is completely off of beer topic, and you know, you're a great storyteller. So what is your perspective or your parents' perspective of what recently happened in terms of that explosion in Beirut?
All right. Yeah.
For Lebanon, like what's your perspective?
So we are actually, so that's why I wanted to, like, I was gonna do the Black is Beautiful giveaway first, but then the Lebanon thing happened. So right. I was gonna push that, you know, like, not that Black is Beautiful is like any less important than you know, the Lebanese thing, but my mom is actually leaving to Lebanon. To go deliver supplies, and you know, we've been like fundraising some stuff, and I wanted to do that, you know, for what happened over there, because I did have family that were hurt in the accident.
Oh, right.
And it's honestly like I wish I could say anything different, but it was just a huge oversight, and it's just like stupidity on the government's part.
Yeah, whenever you deal with chemicals and you deal with them not being protected, that's why they say just from a nuclear missiles or anything like that, that stuff has to be under the most stringent surveillance, you know?
Especially because it was like in the middle of the city kind of thing. It was like
right at the port. It's right at the port. Like, what are we doing?
It was at a port, and for whatever reason they have it's fucking Lebanon. They have a fireworks
factory. It was a flaw.
That and then that's why, like, there's always going to be conspiracy theories, but what happened was that something went wrong at the fireworks factory. Some shit started exploding, and people for years have been telling the government, "Hey, you need to move this, phosphate away from
everything else or out of this area," because
that is exactly what's going to happen, and that's why that's how that second explosion happened. The fireworks factory went off, and then the ammonium phosphate fucking exploded, and that's what that mushroom cloud was. So it was a wild, because I was actually brewing that day, and then like I just went on my phone real quick, but on a boil, just eating shit, and then I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck? And I immediately called my parents. I'm like, yo, you guys need to get in contact with whomever over in Lebanon, like, check on the family. Yeah. And yeah, we did. I did have a distant cousin that passed.
Oh man.
I never really had like contact with him. It was on my mom's side of the family, but I did have a couple, like, for the most part, like, not a lot of people of my family were in the vicinity of the area. So, a lot were on vacation, and like, but I did have some family that ended up in the hospital, and it was a very dumb, oversight. And that's why a lot of the government has been resigning now, because people want blood, and it is what it is.
Understandably so.
Rightfully so. Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially if it was oversight, especially when you've been warned,
been prevented. Yeah, it was
for years. For years, they had been telling them that, and like, that's fine. Yeah. But I think also that they were getting paid to like just leave it there, so that's why they did it. And
Dang.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now going back to coffee in terms of the foodie part, like so. What is your favorite dish? Like, what do you enjoy? Like, are you a big brunch person? Are you a big brunch person? I don't know.
So my friend asked me that recently. She's like, what's your favorite restaurant? I don't have one. My favorite dish? I don't. But because I eat so much good food, I've kind of become
narrow it down.
Yeah. I've kind of become like a food snob a little bit. It's because like I eat a lot of really good food, so it's like when someone's like, "Oh, this is delicious," I'm like, "Oh, it's okay," because it's like a lot of really good food. Like, I don't know.
But to Rob's point, Coffee, like, do you get like extremely excited about? It might not be. Like, okay, let me use me as an example. Like, I truly enjoy chips. Like Thai food.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say chips.
No, I'm a snacker. I'm a snacker. Like, y'all already know it, because usually I'm like pop. And I like basically clear my pantry. My wife is like, I need to go to the store, but I'm not going with you. I love Thai food. So like, you have like, so I like a basil, like rice. Rice is like a major thing like this. Just in our 7 days of the week we eat is usually like 5 to 6 days is rice.
Yeah. Are you a Geechee, Devin?
I don't really know what classifies me as a Geechee. Just with rice.
Are you people from South Carolina, North Carolina?
Well, from Virginia.
Okay, South Carolina, North Carolina, the Geechee, they the rice patty.
Okay.
But
like,
Devin don't eat a lot of rice.
Yeah, so like. So you guys know from just, obviously back, Cinco de Mayo, like my background is Mexican and Black, but so like rice is huge in any cuisine that we eat. So burrito, rice, Chinese rice, Thai rice. I eat rice with just about anything. So like that, to that point, to Rob's point, just to circle back, like, is it a kind of a part of a cuisine that like you usually incorporate into something that you eat?
Okay, so my favorite cuisine is Asian food. Specifically, I like ramen, and I really enjoy trying. Yeah, I really enjoy trying different types of ramen. But to answer your question more specifically, tacos.
Oh.
Okay. Hey, you can't go wrong with tacos.
Or what do you put in your tacos?
So I actually like tripa or lingua. So lingua is tongue.
Look at Haidar. Look at Haidar. Haidar is like, whoa. I didn't know what that is.
Did you say tongue? Did you say tongue?
Man.
What is it, cow tongue?
They serve, cow tongue. They serve a lot of it around here at the different taco trucks. I can't, man.
I always thought about trying it, but then I'll be like,
that sounds chewy. That sounds
no.
chewy.
I don't think it's chewy if it's cooked
How
right.
different is that from chitlins?
Okay.
You gotta go somewhere that does it right. You gotta go somewhere that does it right.
Just like a good chitlin, just like a good chitlin batch, it's got to be done right, right?
Is there such thing as a good chitlin batch?
Right. There's no such thing as a good chitlin batch.
I love chitlins.
Ever made.
So you are Southern, then you definitely can take that Southern thing. Yeah. You said you love chitlins.
If you love chitlins,
yo, I eat chitlins. I haven't eaten them in a long time, but but in also Mexican culture, like tacos is like it's not uncommon to have, that is like that kind of I want to call it like a delicacy. But when I go to Adrian's former student, we go to the Mexican cookouts. Like we have like the beef and the pork or whatever, but the uncle who's on the actual taco,
he got his tongue in the corn.
He's got that good old, pig.
It's
He's putting that thing on there, and I'm like, yo, sprinkle that hot sauce on there and dress it up.
Yeah. So tripa, which is tripe, and so.
Oh no! Come on.
Dude, it's delicious. You gotta try it, man. You gotta try it.
So wait, Rob, is that an Avery glass?
It's a who?
Avery glass?
She changed the subject.
Okay, no. I was just asking, but no. So that's another thing.
Tripe is intestines, right?
Tripe is the lining of the intestines. Yes.
Yeah.
For what animal?
It's the
pig, right?
It's a cow. I think it's a cow.
Cow.
It doesn't make a difference. Why the fuck are you eating the lining of anybody? Any animals
delicious.
That's the point.
Well,
I mean,
what they said that if you eat
hot dogs.
They said if you kill an animal, you're supposed to eat everything on the animal.
That is true. That's true.
But I really enjoy trying things that are unique and different. So
you don't really like good food. You like that food that motherfuckers don't like. So you like that's
okay. Bizarre. What's that? Bizarre food?
Yeah, bizarre. You like bizarre food? That's your favorite show?
Coffee. We're gonna have a good time eating some food.
That's right.
Bizarre foods.
So
you like Zimmerman? What was that?
So maybe, because in Thailand we did try bugs and it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I think Harlan talked about trying bugs, right?
Yeah.
When he was on his trip internationally.
But he was in Ethiopia.
Let's go with y'all when y'all go wherever y'all going to eat the bugs and the tripe. I want to try it the right way.
I see why y'all need to curate a beer and food travel
trip, or group.
Yeah, it's a trial over there. Miami.
Right here
in Miami. In Miami, they have grasshopper tacos.
Okay. I would try
tacos.
I would try it.
Like, wait, is there something else on the taco other than
grasshoppers?
No, it's like the taco and then grasshoppers.
No other meat. That's about. I guess it can't be no other
protein.
Meat. Protein is
that's the protein.
They actually say that's actually the most. That's in terms of sustainability. They say grasshopper is good though. They say in terms of sustainability, grasshoppers are good to go.
They're not Miami. They're not Florida grasshoppers.
Everywhere.
No. They have like food grade grasshoppers that they
that they use.
Yeah.
More like like if it's something farm raised or whatever, they raise these grasshoppers for the food.
Because they'll feed them a certain thing to make sure that they got all the protein.
So what's funny is that Mari's actually Nicaraguan, and in her words, not mine, she says that she couldn't believe that I guessed she was Nicaraguan when I first met her, because she says that most other Nicaraguans are ugly. Her words, not mine.
That's funny.
So my first ultra marathon was in Nicaragua. So I've been to Nicaragua actually more times than Mari has.
Oh wow!
And like that's where
flex
her family's from,
Right?
And she goes,
Flex on flex.
I'm telling her this, and I go, "Oh, you're Nicaraguan." She goes, "Oh, how did you guess that?" I'm like, "Oh, I've been there like a lot of times." And she goes, "No, you haven't. Like, stop trying to get into my pants." I'm like, "Dude, I swear." I was like, "So the ultra marathon that I ran, it was on the island in the middle of Lake Nicaragua, and I ran up and down both the volcanoes that were on that island." And I got as a memory like of my first ultra marathon that opened me up to that world. I got those volcanoes tattooed on my side, and I'm telling her the story, and she's like, "Shut up! You're just trying to get to my pants." I'm like, "No, dude, look." I pulled up my thing. She goes, "Oh shit, this dude's serious. Like he's actually been to Nicaragua."
I've been to Nicaragua, and I want to go back.
Dude, the beers that they have are the Toñas. That's their like pale lager that they have over there. 30 cents.
Right.
Drinking Toñas all fucking day, dude.
Right. It changed from he wants to get in my pants to he getting in my pants.
Right, he got that. He got it. Nicaraguan women ain't that ugly, yo.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like,
they're not ugly. Come on, man. I just look.
Well, he been a lot. He's been a lot, so he knew that.
You're right.
They weren't ugly, so you already knew that's not a true fact.
That was another flex, Rob. That was another flex. I already know what they look like. They're not ugly.
He was like, I've been to Nicaragua a couple times, like 10, 7. How many times you been?
So I'd been there 5 times.
Oh.
Each time I went back just like for the races, and then I would stay there like a week or so to like travel and explore.
He like, I know more about your culture than you do.
And that's actually where I had lengua for the first time.
Right.
You know, that's how I fell in love with it, and yeah, it's actually like a delicacy there. Like, you know, any food that you go to around here, like if you got to call ahead because they'll make lengua in the morning, but that shit will be gone by like 11.
It's good.
Yeah, you gotta tell me. You gotta call it lengua, and then don't tell me what it is until after I finish.
Lingua's tongue.
That's the tongue.
Yeah.
The tongue.
Yeah.
But see, now I know now. So now I'm like, nope, don't want that.
I guess lingua, it kind of does like lingo.
It's not. It's real chewy. The 2 times that I've had it, it was.
Really?
It was,
then they ain't cooking right. Then they saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to try it the right way.
You get that lengua with the salsa.
Woo.
Fire.
So out of the most kind of bizarre eats for everybody kind of going around, like I'll go first, but you guys feel free to share like what is the kind of the most bizarre eats that you kind of tried. I think my 2 most bizarre was like a barbecue or like Asian kind of fusion, like frog leg and ostrich. Those were kind of my 2 bizarre, and that was actually in Philadelphia. That wasn't
both of those. Those are delicious.
Yeah, I've had both of those. So those are kind of my 2 kind of wild, kind of gamey things you don't cook at home.
Yeah.
What's some of you guys?
I've had escargot.
Okay.
It was real garlicly.
My cargo. 160.
It was delicious. It was delicious. Anytime a chef wants to fix me snails and escargot, I'll eat it.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. What about you, Yoda or Rob?
I think it was like crocodile.
Crocodile.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe that's probably crocodile.
Crocodile's real good.
Yeah, it is.
I have a place in Delaware called Fat Rick's, and they would serve like strips of crocodile. It was delicious.
Now, one time I was in Jamaica. I swear I ate well shit. But
well shit.
Yeah. I'm not pretty sure. I think that's what it was.
Like, is that any different than eating the crab shit?
Mustard.
Nah, listen.
The mustard.
Let me tell you how it was like. It was like it was spread on a piece of bread, right? So what made me think it was well shit. It was dark, right? We all sitting around at a table eating, right?
Kobe said, "I'm half Jamaican. We never ate well shit."
Well shit. Ain't eating that.
That's a poor man's. That's a poor man's meal.
I only could assume it was because it was brown and it was spread on this piece of bread, right?
You don't know what it was.
Let me tell you that.
You don't know what it was.
Let me tell you, it was the saltiest, fishiest shit I had ever had in my entire life, right?
Saltiest.
That was pate.
What did you say? Saltiest, fishiest shit.
Yeah. It was horrible. It was so bad that I didn't people I was sitting at the table with. I cut a piece for everybody to make them taste it.
But did it smell?
You know what?
Did it smell?
It's so funny. Why do we
terrible.
do that? When stuff is disgusting, we want other people to taste it. I'm the same way.
But when it's good, you want to keep it all to yourself.
Yes.
You like, I ain't sharing.
Yes.
Or if something stinks, you be like, smell this.
Yes. Why do we do that?
I smell this nasty shit. Smell this too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Misery loves company, as they say.
Misery loves company.
Like, you gonna have some of this bullshit I'm eating.
You smell this bullshit? Oh, you don't smell it? Smell this bullshit. This is bullshit. Yo, did it smell like shit though?
It smelled. It was just strange, yo. And everybody else said the same thing. They was like, "What is that?" It had to be. And I was thinking, I thought it was salty because the well was being salt water, and I was just thinking like, "Oh, this guy."
It sounds like a pate. It sounds like
that's what I.
Pate.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And pate, I don't like it either.
I actually like pate. Oh, again, I think it depends on the place.
Is pate salty?
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's like super salty to the point where I couldn't eat it. I'm like, I don't even understand somebody eats that.
Right.
Black is
That's the
beautiful.
black is beautiful.
Samurai
That black is beautiful. Yeah, he got.
It looked nice too.
That's your home. That's your homebrew. Black is beautiful.
Mahdi in my homebrew. I can't take all the credit. I can't take all the credit.
Do not take all the credit.
She's still behind him, y'all.
She's poking me in the back right now.
Right behind the camera.
It's ours. Coffee, I'm interested. Like, what would you consider, like, hearing everybody else, like, what was some weird food that you've had?
Right. Yeah,
so
true.
It's funny because I've been writing them down as they came to my mind.
Yeah.
So I had kangaroo in Australia.
Oh, that's it. How was that?
Wait, don't go any further.
Oh, yeah, stop
How
right
was
there.
that?
Stop right
tell us a little
there.
bit.
Right. Let's start right there.
So we were at a food market. Okay, so first of all, the food in Australia is not good. When we were there, we ate literally Asian food because they have a huge Asian population. And I said earlier, I love Asian food.
Yeah, well, because it's right there. It's like right there.
And we saw it's a huge Asian, like we were so surprised. But anyway, so we ate a lot of Asian food, but I tried kangaroo and it was really good. It, they say it tastes like chicken. Like it was good. We were at a farmer's market.
Was it fried? How was it cooked?
It was fried.
Okay.
It was fried. And it was very juicy. It was soft.
Seasoned.
It was seasoned well. There was nothing.
Like a chicken tender?
Kind of like a chicken
fried,
tender.
Fried like what?
It was kind of like a thin chicken.
Like a batter.
Tender.
Okay.
And
not grilled, but battered.
I'll be honest, I don't know if it was battered or not.
Okay.
But it was good and I would eat it again. I'll say that. It wasn't a bad experience. But okay, so kangaroo in Australia, possum.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not eating no possum.
Now down south,
I see that
like
shit in the
downstate,
backyard. I'm not eating that.
downstate, like muskrat and possum, that's huge. Like they'll stew that up in a pot quick.
In Delaware City, they used to catch possum.
Yeah, they'll stew that up quick.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas ever see them city possums?
Right.
No,
Right.
it was a baby possum.
When I was little, he had baby.
I remember the first time, and this is no shade because I know our wives listen to the podcast. I remember the first time I went and met Adrian's mom's grandmother. Oh, they had that good Thanksgiving. They had that muskrat in that pot. The whole pulled the whole like skeleton up out of that thing. It was like,
I hate when they do that, yo. Like all these country folk be pulling out the skeletons.
I don't need to see that.
Like just give me slice the meat off for me and put it on my plate.
Coffee said she wouldn't eat muskrat, but she done ate a baby possum.
No. I said I've never had it, but I don't need to see the skeleton.
Right.
I don't need to see the skeleton.
That would turn me off even more. Like they pulling out the skeleton.
Hey, it was like the mouth and everything, like the head.
No, I don't need to see that.
Is that a muskrat or is that a rat? I don't know what that is.
Oh no, that
even with the tongue, I don't want them the whole. This is what we're cutting. No, I don't want to see it. I just don't eat it.
Yeah. Just cook it up and put it on my plate. That's
okay, so and then duck liver or foie gras. How do you say it?
Foie gras.
Yeah, duck liver.
It's nasty.
Is it?
You know what?
I love liver. Now I eat liver.
I love liver too.
I love
I don't
liver
like
with
duck
some
liver.
peppers and onions on there and that gravy and some
But
rice.
you like that duck liver is kind of it's real
different.
Aren't they?
It
seems like it would be gamey.
Cause I had like a pasty type of thing. Was it? Because it's like it has like a pasty taste. Yeah, I don't like it.
I've had foie gras on my burger before. Like it was.
How was it?
It was the burger was good altogether, but I didn't eat the foie gras by itself. I just
okay.
All right. Yeah.
Mm.
And then you know, like in the South, we eat deer, so.
Oh, okay. I eat deer.
But
yeah,
definitely
I've had deer jerky in Texas. I've had deer jerky in Texas. Regular deer. So
get that up here, up this way.
I think I had
sausage. I had deer sausage.
I had I had like cobra or it was some type of snake jerky.
Oh,
it was like a jerky. It was like a jerky.
Okay.
At a beer
snake
fest.
Jerky.
Actually,
that sounds dope.
It was all right.
You wouldn't do it again.
Probably not.
Oh, you're wrong.
You had to think about
So
it.
wait, did you eat it and not know snake jerky, or
No, I know it was snake jerky. Yeah,
I just caught a snake. I just caught a snake out in a trap out in front of my garage. You know, I'm gonna dry that thing out. Fuck it up. You, Rob, I'm gonna do that thing for you. I just got that thing today.
Okay, so what was the weird shit that Samurai had?
Oh, dude. So I have had most of what y'all had. I haven't had muskrat or possum or kangaroo, but I have had. I'm just gonna rattle some shit off. I've had shark. I've had horse. I've had. Dude, so
hold on, pause.
Tell that story.
Yeah, let's go into the horse.
So I was staying up at a friend's farm.
He said, so I was horseback riding.
I was staying up at a friend's farm.
The horse had to die.
And the horse had to go. So they don't believe in wasting anything. So they put it down and then they cut it up for the meat. It's very like what deer is. It's very gamey.
Oh, gamey.
It's very gamey. But they do like I read this after the fact. They're like, yo, don't eat too much horse because that'll like increase your red blood cell count, and that's not good. You know, like, okay. I tried it once. I'm good. I don't have to have it again.
Was the shark steak?
Shark is good.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had shark.
Yeah, it was like a shark fillet or
yeah, shark.
Then in Lebanon, it was I went to Scotland and I had haggis. That actually wasn't bad. Like for
that's like liver pudding or something like that, right? Or something like that.
So they take out they cook it in the intestines, I believe, and they put in like the liver, the stomach, or they cook it in the stomach and they put in like liver and all. Like basically the stuff that people don't want.
Right.
They just cook it.
Right.
It's not bad.
What is this animal? What animal is this?
Sheep.
Yeah, sheep. Yeah. Well, because that's like big in Scotland, like sheep.
Yo, but that sounds bad.
What does it sound?
But actually, I had it two ways. I had the original haggis, like they make it like a pot pie, and then I had like fried haggis balls, which were fucking delicious. I mean, you fry anything, it's fucking good.
I think anything fried. That's why people fry stuff because
that is.
You ain't gonna like this baked, but you gonna like it fried.
Intestines already, or you'll cut it out after it's cooked.
No. So like, they cook everything together. like they stuff it in the. I mean, I have to look it up again, but I believe they cook it in the stomach and they just like that's it.
Bring it all out to you.
Yep.
That's dope.
Yeah, I think they had
coffee. Is it dope? Is it dope?
Dude, I will say like in Lebanon, that's where I had like a lot of my experiences with like kind of the weirder food, I guess. Mm-hmm. I did that's the first time I had escargot over there. That's the first time I had frogos over there. That's the first time, dude. I had actually I had both bull testicles and bull penis. They cooked that up.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain oysters. And dude, it was actually really fucking good.
That's a bullshit name, though.
Yeah, right.
I had sheep brains.
Some bull nuts.
Oh, really? How was the sheep brains?
Dude, it was they served it like just the brain. It was so
and they
fucking
fried
weird.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to try brains.
Wow. And dude, it's just like you open, like you take a bite and you're just like, I see the.
I feel like y'all frozen. Yeah, Yeah.
I ain't never heard nobody say, I'm going to try brains.
Oh, yeah, zombie.
You know what? Back in remember Indiana Jones Temple of Doom?
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, I was like, you know what? I'm never eating eyeballs or brains.
Right,
I want to try
I
it.
don't want to eat no live python babies. I
When I
want
eat the whole thing, I eat about the eyeballs. I eat the eyeballs. Like, dude, I waste nothing, bro. Dude, but like, I think one of the
Just put it in my
most,
scrapple.
I think one of the most horrifying experiences I've ever had was, I'm a child. I'm like 10 or 11 years old, and my brother, he's 9. So we have a 2-year difference.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at a goat farm. Like we were at this goat farm, and we're like, oh hey, look at these goats. It's cool. They're fucking goats. Like, oh, that's fucking cool. My mom goes, pick one. I'm like, okay.
I think we can get a pick.
that one looks cool.
He's
Dude,
fun. We played with him all day
literally,
today.
the guy grabbed the fucking goat, dragged him into the next, like from the field into like this little house, and bro, I watched this man cut up this fucking goat. I was like, hey, why are all those goats screaming in there? She goes, oh, come look, come watch.
Oh no.
I walk in and I'm like,
No!
dude,
I'm vegetarian.
Immediately.
I watched that shit bleed out. There's blood all over the floor. I'm like, well, I'm out. I walk out. I'm like, yeah, I can't watch this. I walk outside, and then they literally carved up the meat right there. And then from that little house, that little bloodshed, right next door is where they cook the fucking goat. The guy, I see the guy walk.
I've seen chicken killed in Virginia.
Yeah, but chicken versus a whole goat.
Like he hold on, he went in there thinking the goat was gonna come out as his pet. And then
he's a big one.
Like,
that's my dog. That's my dog Frankie.
Right. I pick him. That's who
Your mom take you to a kennel and be like, pick one. You like, wait, mom. You want me to pick a dog?
She didn't hear the rest of the question. She said, pick one for dinner. He didn't hear that part. Pick one for dinner.
But see,
that was fucking delicious as goat. Like, they took that shit right next door. They cooked that shit up, and I was like, all right.
Well, they do a lot of that kind of stuff in Texas though, because I saw one documentary where they sneak up on a goat because they say the meat, if it's scared, it throws something in the hormone
in the taste.
So if they just jump, they jump out on it and kill it instantly. They don't discrete
they don't
whatever
know,
that.
Right. It doesn't send a chemical reaction.
Right.
Sneak attack.
So
you know, a story. A short version of the story is when I used to record in California, and I used to go to the studio at nighttime. I went to just a Chinese place, and I was, when you go to the studio, I wanted to get some soup or whatever. And I swear this Chinese restaurant, I got this beef stew. I swear to you, it had to be some off-brand beef or like dog.
Why?
Because when I tasted that beef stew, I literally almost earled. I mean, instantly, I got it back to the studio. I walked to it. I walked to the place, got the beef stew, went back, took the first, I didn't even taste the meat, broth and everything. It was just, I was like, this is foreign. This should not go in my body.
You said, ruh-roh.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I instantly, and you know what? And then I talked to my brother. I was like, I wasn't imagining things. And I literally remember, actually, when I was walking to the place, the owners had some leashes in their hand.
Oh, you trying to say that?
I'm not making this up.
Are you trying to say that?
I'm not making this up, and I know that people, have said it, and I watched National Geographic documentaries about this shit. I was in Cali, I was in Oakland. I feel like that was some foreign meat.
They might have. Because they do eat dog in China, so so it's not it definitely could have been.
It wasn't foreign. That dog was American.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yo, I cussed them out. I was like, give me my fucking money back. I don't want
And like, for
nothing.
what?
Just give me my money back.
For that deliciousness we just served you.
Yo, that could have threw off my whole omen. That could have threw off everything.
Right.
I was like, screw this.
How spicy do you guys like to go on food?
Man, I like to go spicy.
I'm all spice. I go all. I go fire drill.
I like spicy with flavor.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rob. I like the
because there's some because I've had some Indian food that just hot for no fucking reason.
What the hell's going on here? Why is it hot? It's just hot.
Right. It's like it don't even taste good. My tongue is burning. What the fuck?
Yeah, some curries are like that.
Yeah, I'm going to the extreme of hot. Like when School Bells Inn was my cousin's family restaurant off of School Bell Road in 40. They used to have like fire drill wings like on Tuesdays or on Thursdays. Yeah, like because it was all you can eat. If you could eat the hottest wings, like it was free.
Nigga,
like you didn't have to pay for no more.
You pay for it when you use it. When you use the bathroom.
Exactly.
Or the walls of your stomach.
You do pay for it.
For the gas, but your ass
pay for it. I was like this. I was tearing them wings up.
Why you say that? You like hot
fire?
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, everyone give their number.
For hot 10.
Yeah.
If it's flavorful, I can go 10.
20, bro.
Yeah,
give me that spice.
Yeah, I'll go extremely hot depending on if it's
I'll
good.
eat that Indian curry, but I do have to agree. Like it has to have flavor. So, for instance, like y'all know that show Hot Wings,
right?
Yeah.
So
I'm never going on that.
My friend did buy that Mad Dog 357.
Really?
That hot sauce. Dude, see, so me, like, if you look at me when I eat lunch, like, dude, I grab all the hot sauces out the fridge and I'm pouring all them shits on my food. But the Mad Dog 357, that's just straight extract, and it tastes like chemicals. So it's like, I tried it, but then, dude, it just like turned my stomach, and it didn't, like, it had zero flavor. It just tasted like straight ass. And I was like, you know what? I'm never going to touch this hot sauce again because, like, I'm not going to put myself through something where it's not even
worth it.
You didn't enjoy it, yeah.
But I just recently ate a chocolate Reaper.
Oh, did you?
Oh, dude, I was talking so much shit for 3 minutes. And then it hit. And then I was like, my friends, like everybody around me was saying that I actually handled it a lot better than they expected me to.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I ate it, I swallowed it, and then I was like, I have videos. I'll send them to you guys later. There were 3 videos. The first one was me saying like, "Oh, this is the pepper I'm gonna eat." The second one, me eating and swallowing it, and talking shit to the guy who grew the pepper. I'm like, "Yo, grow spicier peppers, bro."
Oh wow! Oh wow!
I saw my eyes instantly puff, and my eyes started getting watery. My nose started running, and dude, that shit hit so fast. I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Dude, I didn't come out for 15, 20 minutes. Yo, I lost 5 pounds in one night because I ate that fucking chocolate Reaper.
So it's like going in and coming out.
No, so actually, I didn't get that spicy comeback after it came out. But like, I will say that like I peaked in like 3 or 4 minutes, and then it took me like another 5 to 6 minutes for it to come down.
Wow.
That's like that. That's like that guy newscaster.
We were at the Beard, so I was just like, "Yo, give me lagers, give me fucking something."
Yeah.
So after about 10 minutes, you were good.
Yeah, like 10 minutes was like the span of like of the hurt.
Dude,
then my eyes like they receded to like being normal. I started tearing up like. But then, like, I went to the bathroom after, so, like, it was maybe more than, like, the whole span of the thing was more than 10 minutes.
Flavor
that was like the
flavor over heat. Like, it can be hot, but it needs to be much, much more flavorful.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've had a lot of Indian food. Some of it is flavorful, but there is some that's just hot for no reason.
I can go. Y'all said the 10. I'm like 5, man, 6.
I'm at 8.
I mean, there's some Moroccan food that's like that too. That's hot for no reason.
I'm all about those fire wings. Give me that challenge, bro. I wanna see what my body can take.
At the college, they used to have 911 wings, and you had to sign over a waiver. And all they would do was just give you free wings and put your picture on the wall. Like, it wasn't enough. It's not
enough.
I'm
That's not enough for me to endure that pain.
Devin said, yes, it is.
I don't know.
But you got the wings for
College and
free.
grown, and then, and paying for your, I don't know. I guess it ain't too much different. I'm about to say college, and then, and not paying for your food. I guess it's kind of one of the same.
Well, yeah, right.
You starve it, you're kind of like you off of ramen noodles and, and like anything you can get your hands on in college. But then, as you grow, you like, shit, I got all these. So I take a free meal.
Like, what those Firehouse wings? Like, what was the time span? How many wings were there?
So they would come in 12s for the wings I was eating, and like I said, I mean, I was crushing them joints. Like I don't remember
every Tuesday
ever giving up. And you know that habanero spice is. I was going there every week doing some old, because it was a family thing, and everybody, it was a challenge. Right. Everybody was like, "Yo, you coming? You need the top dog. You the person to
you gotta defend the title, baby.
You gotta defend the title."
Huh? Right. On the wall somewhere?
Hell no.
No, just a fire. Just a fire.
How many wings was you?
I mean, I did the 12. I did the 12. That was like a one sitting. That was one sitting.
Okay.
And do you have a time span, or it's just like as long as
as long as you ate the 12 wings in the sitting, like you didn't pay for them.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right.
No, hey, Coffee, you said you like ramen. Do you have a favorite type of ramen?
Good question, Samurai. That's
Shogu. Shogu. Soyu. I like it to be a little bit creamy. There was someone that posted Cajun ramen, and it's in Houston. I was like, that sounds so good. Cajun ramen. So
No, go ahead.
I want to try that, but I'm going to have to see if there's somewhere here, but I'm planning on going down there next month. But Cajun ramen sounds good. But I like shoyu ramen. I also like fried chicken in my ramen. I like an egg in my ramen. I love marinated eggs. I
so
just
much that you can do with ramen noodles.
Right,
but I think you do want to. I think you do want to go to Houston. Though I watched Ugly Delicious, and they said ramen, because there's such a big Asian culture in Houston, that ramen is dope in there. Because I can't remember my name. Well, Ugly Delicious on Netflix. He went to because he was talking about New Orleans and Houston.
David Chang.
Yeah, David Chang. He went from because a lot of people were doing the hurricane.
Exactly, Katrina.
Katrina went from Houston. From Louisiana, from New Orleans to Houston, and they stayed there and opened a lot of ramen shops and stuff like that. So it was like the population is dope there.
Coffee.
Fucking bomb.
Ramen that you said, that ramen that you mentioned, what was it called, and what's it called again, and what makes you like that? Why is it your favorite?
So shoyu ramen because it's creamy. I love anything that's creamy. I love malty beer because it's creamy. So anything that has a little bit of that creaminess to it, it's just my palate really gears towards it. So I love it because it's a little bit creamy. I love really any ramen as long as it's delicious. I like soup. So I really like
me too.
In general.
Yeah.
I love
soup.
Now, ramen or pho?
Pho.
Ramen, baby.
Ramen. Pho's best.
Ramen.
What's the difference?
So pho is Vietnamese soup, and ramen is Japanese soup. And then there's also soba noodles. I don't really care for soba noodles, but I really enjoyed the.
Those are way too big. They have no business.
That's exactly it.
Let me ask you guys a ghetto question. When you eating ramen from the top ramen or ramen at the grocery, are you supposed? I know you don't eat.
No.
She's above that. She's a snob. Remember?
I'm gonna answer your question.
When the regular peon people are eating just hot ramen, is it supposed to be ate with the water in it, or do we drain the water off?
I do
asking us.
Yeah, it's supposed to be water in.
I have a little bit of broth in mine, not all of it.
Water in.
You want the shit dry? Yeah, you want the shit dry.
I have an answer.
But I do have a process.
Okay. Coffee got an answer.
Yeah, Coffee, what's up?
Okay, so in college, and this is even now, I love top ramen, but I don't drink it as a soup. So I boil the noodles because I like to cook. I just don't like to cook, if that makes sense. So anyway, so I boil the noodles and then I cook it with chicken and Asian spices and soy sauce and different types of sauces. So it's more like a lo mein. I use it to make more like a lo mein than a soup. So I never like, I don't even use the packet, but I enjoy the noodles.
That's a good
cheap noodles. So I just use it to make like a
so that's a good point. Go ahead.
My sweet mate used to do the same thing. He was from Thailand. Well, his parents were from Thailand, but so he would throw the ramen noodle packet away. I mean, the seasoning packet and get actual Thai seasoning and do his own thing. So, but he loved the noodles, but he didn't.
It's a cheap buy.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
Back when we were in college, it was like $1, less than $1.
Yeah, I think it was less than that. I think you can get 4 for $1.
Cookies, not anymore, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about in 1997, you can get 4 for $1.
Definitely get some change back when you gave me $1.
I still eat top ramen, but I don't eat it with water or the packet, but I make it my own.
Okay. And Devin, you use the packet with the water.
I do, but also another way that I grew up eating it, because being as though my family is Delaware, well, East Coast and West Coast, like when I would go visit my oldest brother, who's 10 years my senior, in California, they would make the ramen noodle, not use the packets, but they would actually add ground hamburger, corn, and like different things to it, and like almost make, I don't want to say like a casserole, but it would almost be like a pot of its own.
How many times they've been locked up? Because that's some jailhouse shit. That sounds like some tuna Buddha almost.
I would say for sure that my brother's wife probably was not locked up, but she could have got the recipe from somebody who was locked up.
Oh my gosh.
By the way, just saying, like talking about food additives, I loved as a kid growing up macaroni and cheese with hot dogs. That was
macaroni and cheese with hot dogs. Not that I eat it, but I've heard it made that way.
Me too. I've had it before. I had it before.
But how different is a Chef Boyardee with like hamburger or a hamburger helper with like hamburger meat and cheese and sauce and how different is it?
After I said it, I thought about it because my favorite meal as a kid was spaghetti with hot dogs, but I just
it was foreign to you until you
Coffee, what part of Texas are you in?
I live in Dallas.
Dude, I was so fucking bummed that CBC got canceled this year. So fucking
What's CBC?
The craft beer conference. It was supposed to actually be in San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
And we were gonna we bought our plane tickets. We were ready to go, and we were gonna fly into Austin, and we were gonna hit Live Oak and Jester King. And then we were going to go to San Antonio for the fest and then, like, hop around breweries there. By the way, big shout out to my dude, Shannon. Super fucking stoked for him. Open up the Urban Jungle. That's going to be in that's going to be in Austin as well. So it's the way he described it is that how far is I'm not too familiar with Texas. Like how far is Dallas from Austin?
It's like 3-4 hours.
Okay.
Same so it's like Houston.
It's like Miami and Orlando. So just like there's Austin, then Jester King's like south of Austin, or like a little bit south, and then Urban Jungle is going to be up north.
Cause I actually someone went last week to Jester King's and got their Black is Beautiful. So I haven't drank any of my Black is Beautiful, but I have like 5 different breweries, but I haven't drank any of them yet.
I think I drink everywhere. All mine. I just keep the can. I drink
one.
So I'll tell you why I haven't drank them. Stouts in the summer, like I love stouts, but stouts in the summer, they're just so heavy for me. I prefer to drink like IPAs and sours. So I'm saving them for the winter.
If you got air conditioning, you're good.
They're in the refrigerator. I don't know. But we drank one last night, and it was from Celestial. It was really, really good.
Oh, dope.
Oh, yeah.
And I have the Weathered Souls ones. I have, like, 2 of the Weathered Souls ones. I have the Jester Kings.
You got that official.
Because they
They're here. They're there.
Listen, I told you, I know.
I miss Texas.
She know a lot of people.
I haven't been back to Texas since 2018. I love Texas.
Texas is cool. I
Right.
love living here. It was a great decision.
So I got 2 questions for you, Foodie. Foodie.
Coffee.
It's okay.
Foodie. or 2. It wasn't. Actually, no. Yeah, 2 questions. One. When is the? When are you gonna start posting the blogs? That was the first question.
Pressure, no pressure, no pressure.
You looked at my website?
I looked the other day, and I looked again today, and it said, and that was in April. You said coming soon.
Why are you calling me out? Why are you calling me out?
I thought we were friends.
I'm not calling you out. I'm just asking for the people. People probably want to be like, yo.
We're friends.
People want to know.
Coming soon. When soon? As soon as they come.
Oh, what's the other question? So I can see if I'm gonna get mad.
Question number 2, please.
Well, the other question was, you flexed. You did 2 flex. You kind of flexed on. You said Australia, you had kangaroo. And we know you've been to Asia. You been to Asia. So have you been to every continent? Maybe not Antarctica, but have you been to every continent?
No, I haven't. It's not my goal to. Huh?
What continent have you not been to?
So I haven't been to every continent. It's not my goal to go to every continent. I go to where I want to eat, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And that's like, I travel places because I love the food. Like, I've been to Japan, and we went to Okinawa, but I really didn't have the full Japanese experience. So I want to go to mainland Japan because I want to eat. I want to go have ramen and like go to a bar where the food is alive, and I want to just have that food. Like, I'm going to eat. Like, that's the whole reason.
Like a proper izakaya.
Exactly.
So you don't want no haggis in Scotland, I say.
I will. I would love to try it because I'm a fun eater. I like to try things that I may not like just to see if my palate agrees with it or not. But to answer your other haterish question.
Rob,
that was a question.
Yo, Rob, you go. She damn near about to cuss you out.
That was a question. That was a question for the people.
For the people.
Right. People probably go on coffeefoodie.com and be like, what the fuck? That was April. Where is that?
Had you phrased it a little different, Rob, it would have been received a little better.
How should I have phrased it? So what can we expect? What can we expect in new blog posts?
I think the better phrasing of the question could have been, hey, when can we expect your next blog post?
Okay, there we go.
I think that would have been like,
So, first question. This is April. When the fuck are you posting this?
I didn't say it like that.
Basically, you did.
Yeah, it's coming soon since April. So it's
I'm going to share this, right, on my page. Go ahead.
That was only because she said, "Oh, you must have looked at my website." Yeah, I looked at your website. I tried to do my homework before I come on here.
I knew when he asked it, I was like, damn it. I'm going to share this. And so all of my friends are going to be like, so when are you posting? Thank you.
See? I know a lot of people ask that question like, yo, what's good?
The answer?
Uh-huh.
So, where's your favorite place to travel, Rob?
That's not my
No, I'm not. I'm not. Like,
well, is your food blog based on your travel? And if so, I mean, COVID has impacted a lot of it. So are you kind of at a, like, you know, are you at a standstill?
Don't give her an excuse, man.
Yoda.
Set it up.
Okay, so it's funny that you asked that, Rob, because I am an Instagram blogger. I created a website mainly because I just felt like I needed one. And my background is technology. Like, I work in cloud computing, so I'm a nerd. So I created a website as a challenge because, like, I did it myself on AWS and didn't use, like, a service. So it was something fun for me, and I was like, okay, I'm done with it now. So,
okay.
But it's funny that you asked that, though, because the trip to Colorado, we're driving, and like I'm a planner, so I'm planning it out now, and I actually think that maybe anybody that knows me that's listening to this, do not hold me to this.
You better not even say it, then shit.
You want me to edit that out?
I think that'll be my first blog post, and my first and only blog post. But I think that'll be my first blog post.
Okay.
Because we're gonna like.
No, go ahead.
No, we're just gonna stop, and like I have a bunch of places that we're gonna go, and I went to a bunch of breweries the first time, and I'm gonna write about the experience this time. So I think that'll be my first blog post.
Okay.
It's funny to ask that.
So kind of bouncing, like I got a 2-part question, kind of bouncing off what Dev said. So how, like with your website, do you feel more people interact with your Instagram or with your website when you put up the blog post? Like how's your traffic with your blog post?
If I had content, it would be much better. I understand Sir Rob, but if I had content, because people do, like when they go to my page, they'll go like, you can see your numbers, they're clicking on it, but there's no content there. And I think it would be great, but can I, like, honestly guys, and I know all of you can agree with me, it's a lot. Like having Instagram, having like coming up with content, then you're having your life, then you have work. Like it's a lot, and you have to commit that time to it. And I do this because I enjoy it, right? I'm not getting paid.
Be kind of a leisurely passion,
yes.
And you don't want to get burnt out and make it
and
feel like work. Yeah. You don't want to make it feel like work.
So that's like it was Blue. So you were asking, or someone was asking, why don't I have a travel company? Because once it becomes work, the expectation becomes greater, and I don't enjoy it. I'm enjoying doing this for my family and my friends. So this is fun for me. And because it's also my vacation that I'm paying for, I'm not responsible for you. So if we go together and you understand that, because you're not paying me to do a service, we're going to have a great time together. So it's like, it's not a business for me.
Yeah. You post when you post.
Right. And it's a passion.
That urge or that kind of that connection to say, you know what? This was a great enough experience where I want to glass it out and share it with my people.
Yeah. Yes.
I just asked the question because it was coming. It said in April it was coming soon. I just asked the question. If it didn't say coming soon, it was like if it just said, if it would have just said, motherfuckers just stick to the Instagram, then I wouldn't have said anything. Right. Motherfuckers, you see my Instagram?
No, but I feel like you're right. Like the time that, because like I mean I have I started with blogging and like writing about my experiences at certain places, and like that was something that I would initially pitch to breweries. They'd be like, "Oh, I do a blog post for you guys. I do this and that." But dude, I can't. Honestly, if you went to my page, I couldn't even remember the last time that I did a fucking blog post. Instagram is so much more streamlined and so fast and so like you just post one picture or one video and then you give your caption, you give your experience, you give your details, and it's like, dude, the people have such little attention span.
Right.
To catch them like this, you gotta get them, because like. Imagine reading like a 20-page blog post. I'm not saying that's what you do, but like, would you sit there and like take the time to like sit there and like read a 20-page book?
Especially when you knew you
I used to
Instagram and see the same type of content and see 5 or 6 different people's content, which is the same thing you were reading that blog about in 10 minutes.
Right. Well, let me just say this. Coffee, I enjoy your Instagram page.
Nice.
You're right.
Just not your website.
So this was
that was beautiful, and you just ruined it.
That's that little brother syndrome.
This was the follow-up to that. So kind of bouncing off again what Dev said. After the first, like I don't know, like how is it in Texas right now? Like is our places open, or like are you restricted to stay home, or like what's going on in Texas?
They're going buck wild in Florida.
Well, that in Houston is different.
I'm so happy I'm back at house and I don't work the bar anymore. So fucking happy.
Right.
So fucking happy.
Yeah.
In Dallas, craft breweries, unless they are food restaurants, then they are only to go. If they are food restaurants, then they can have dine-in service. Most of the restaurants here are open, and a lot of them are to go only, but you can dine in at certain places. I have not dined in yet, but this is the new normal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to not ever go sit in a restaurant again. I prefer to sit outside. So I am gonna start potentially dining outside. With my trip, I already like was telling my mom, I was like, so we may sit outside at a restaurant. You okay with that? She's like,
Yeah.
girl, you're OCD, so we'll be fine. I was like, okay.
Okay.
But,
So that's what my question. Like, so having had this experience shift from before COVID, that you would blog about these places, you would blog about the experiences of like breweries and restaurants and all that good stuff. Like, have you noticed or have you wanted to do something different where like, oh, this is what I took to go today, or this is what I had delivered to my house?
I'm doing that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's a great question. So definitely I have been focusing on Black restaurants because I eat them, but I don't post everything that I eat. So I've been posting a lot more Black restaurants. And if I go to a restaurant and I'm like, can you please plate this? Because I'm not going to eat it here, but I want to take my pictures. They love that because that's free advertisement. I'm paying for my food, but I'm also going to promote your business. So I definitely ask them to plate it, or when they plate it, I'm like, can you please make sure that this looks really good, it's photo worthy? So definitely taking pictures of my to-go food. So that really hasn't changed. It has changed in a sense that I'm really bad about going to the same places because if I like something, I'll eat it until I don't want it anymore. So I have to kind of like change that. If I'm eating out with my friends, it's easier because then we'll go to different places. But when I'm eating for myself, I'm like, oh, this is delicious. Like, it's fried fish. Like, when I leave here, when I'm done with you guys, I'm going to go down the street and go get some fried fish because I love fried fish. So
love it.
But to answer your question, yes, I'm taking pictures of small businesses and my food to go, or I ask them to plate it. And I'm also cooking more, so it's a little bit of both of those.
Okay.
But there's no travel pictures.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions? Cause we it's hitting a 2 hour.
We hit that.
Hey, well, it's 2 hours.
Wow.
I have one more question for each person.
Okay.
You said you go every 2 years, but next year y'all gonna. This year was supposed to be Japan, but y'all pushing it back to 2021. What's happening in 2022? Do you have that already?
No. So hopefully we can go
Greece.
next year, but no. So whoever goes, I'm very democratic, so we would vote, and I'm going to vote this time, y'all, so y'all can stop picking on me about this. We're going to vote, and we'll go from there, because if I just pick, then they'll complain. So if it's, a vote, I feel like it's
right. Gives them a choice. Gives them
a choice.
Yeah. And Samurai, Lincoln Beard Company, do y'all all need to have beards? Like, what's the why they?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the beard. How long you been growing it? And...
Right, because that beard is thorough. That beard is
pretty awesome.
So it's actually funny because when Mari and we got married in March of 2019, I actually had this like trimmed down. Like I didn't have like I had a beard, but it was like small, right? And so this is like a year strong, a year and a couple months strong. And you don't. So actually, my co-brewer Danny,
jealous as shit.
Man,
he doesn't have a beard. He doesn't have a beard.
This is 2 years. This is 2 years.
So, 2 years?
Dude, this is 40 years right here.
I'm straight era, bro. Like my hair connects from the top down. So,
Lou, your beard game is strong too.
Dude, you look clean. Mari's always telling me, oh, you gotta clean it up. You gotta clean it up. I'm like,
it looks great.
It's COVID. Who cares? So,
there you go.
The actual naming of the brewery is funny because when my boss was, I believe he was Army Intel, or he was like in the military.
Okay.
And he. When he was coming up with the idea to open a brewery, there was one letter that he read that he loved, that Abraham Lincoln was thinking of shaving his beard prior to, running for the election. Huh. And some little girl wrote him a letter. Like I have to, like, the letter is like, it's a piece of history. Like it's saved somewhere, and like, you can actually read it if you look it up on Google or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But it says like, don't shave, you would look weird. So he took and then the slogan for Lincoln's Beard is "Weird at the Beard." So that's our slogan. That's our motto. And so you don't have to have a beard to work there, but going from working for my dad, and every like month or so he'd be like, "Hey, your beard's getting too long, shave." And dude, if I show you pictures of my dad when he first got here, this dude had a beard bigger than mine, and long ass hair, and this is my pops. He's a little older, so he's just rocking a stash now, and I'm like, dude. Beard. I'm like, you came here with a beard, and he goes, yeah, that was back in the 70s and the 80s, like that was part of the time. I'm like, bro, beards are timeless. Shut up, like.
beard time never leaves. It never goes out of style.
So now that I have, it's gonna come to a point one day where I just completely shave it because whatever. Like I kind of make these like very split second decisions sometimes, very impromptu, and like there will be a time where you will see my face again, but now's not that
time. We're gonna be like, who the hell is
that? That's not who we say.
Yeah, we need some identification.
Yeah.
Like in my ID, like I don't have I have a.
Yeah, you're gonna have to renew. You have to renew with the beard.
Yeah,
they renew that license with the beard.
And he cut it all off. That may be a bad look for him if he gets stopped.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
The beard. That's crazy.
Yo, but before we go, right? I was drinking this Neon Tiger. This shit is banging.
Really?
Yo, that vanilla in this joint is strong. Yo,
yeah, I feel like we overdid it on the vanilla in that one.
Yeah, it's good though. It's good.
That's what's up.
Shout out to that Neon Tiger.
Yeah, it's that Danny and me we don't really. So it's funny. Like y'all know about Tripping Animals down here.
I've heard of it. Yes.
It's a brewery that they've been like gaining a lot of accolades. We were actually drinking there last night. Marty, me, and and Danny, we were all over there, and they've been getting big bumps because they've been doing like these sour series of beers, and in the beginning of the year when Danny and I started working together and like we were trying to get the Lincoln's name back up because it kind of fell off for a little bit. The first beer we did was called the Yum Yum Mango. It was a guava mango passion fruit beer.
Juicy.
And it was straight juice. It was so thick and pulpy and straight juice.
I love juicy beer.
Me too.
And the first words out of Danny's mouth were, I just don't want to become Tripping Animals where we're brewing a sour every week. And I told him, like, yo, you just fucked us, dude. And now, every other week, we're brewing a sour.
Sours
are so good, though.
Sign of the times, man. You gotta get those are those gateways. Those are those beers that look.
Yeah.
People are just it's pleasant for people that are not.
Right.
It's that fruit
drinking it proper.
Right, and it's amazing how it comes like full circle. A lot of times when sour were first introduced, people were like, no thank you. But now it's like that's like people's like, oh, you got any sour?
Their go-to. Right, yeah. Their go-to.
Do you guys remember your first sour beer?
Ooh, first sour beer.
At a beer festival in Texas.
I think mine was when we tasted it.
The Sour Monkey?
With Brandon?
Oh shit.
That Golden Monkey?
I don't want that to be my first taste.
That Golden Monkey.
Dude, I had that actually was I went to a poke spot, and they actually had the Victory sours or the Monkey sour.
The Golden Monkey, yeah.
Dude, that was the first beer I ever had, and I opened it, I poured it, I drank it, and I was like, there's something wrong with this beer.
Right.
What is this? I thought that the beer was off. I thought the beer
Yo, that should have make you want to smack somebody.
That beer.
I was like, I'm not drinking this. This is shit.
We had it on our podcast over 2 years ago.
It was like episode
I took the rest of it home. I didn't even have the gall to put it in my fridge. I let it sit in my garage and kept it cold. Man,
you should have sprayed that shit around the outside of your house. That have kept all the squirrels away, the raccoons, possums.
see,
every time my brother visited, he actually took a bottle of it and drank it, but it didn't make it to my refrigerator.
Because I think a lot of that was because it wasn't like a lot of sours are now more fruited and stuff like that.
Yes.
I think that's like straight.
That was just a straight
Back in
kettle
the day,
sour.
wasn't
That
it was like a mistake? Wasn't it a mistake? Almost.
Yeah, I think so.
I
think they did tell us that, or
it was a mistake. I mean, because I know they started. I mean, people had. I mean, at first
Maybe
it
like
was
the
a mistake.
first
If you
sour,
sour beers,
not
yeah.
Victory, but the first sour was.
Yeah,
a
the first
mistake.
sour was that was bad beer. Yeah. But then they said, oh, people might have a tendency to like this. Yeah, I think I read that somewhere. But yeah, a lot of people. But that's why people put the fruited stuff. I think that's a little more palpable to your taste buds and stuff like that. For some people love Victory on the month. I mean, so shout out to Victory.
Last question, Samurai. You said earlier that sour is not a style, but it's a type. So what is the style that sour will be under?
Right.
So the two. So yeah, it would. I mean, they're always ales because the yeast that you use wouldn't be. You wouldn't use a lager. I mean, hey, who knows? Someone might be using a lager yeast soon for sours, but the actual like styles were the Berliner Weiss that they started in Germany, and then you also have the Gozas. Those are like when someone says sour, it's kind of like like Hidden Springs. They do all their sours are Berliners, so it's like a Berliner sour, but like a lot of breweries these days, they don't even really go to the lengths of just calling it a Berliner because it's so far off from what a Berliner is. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, it's funny because like the Berliner is just it's a very sour beer, and it's very tart, it's very acidic. So what they do is they actually give you syrups that you can fruit your beer with. Like, I think there's like a raspberry syrup and a woodruff syrup that they serve alongside your beer. So if you want to kind of dial back that sour taste, you can. So sour in and of itself, it's not really a style, but it's kind of, just like with what craft beer is and how it evolves, it's kind of becoming its own thing,
Sure.
Right. It's funny because when at a beer festival last year, I had a sour milk stout, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to drink? Curd milk? That's what I thought it was going to taste.
Right. That's what I hear. When I hear it, that's what
I thought. That's what I thought when I was going to taste it. I was like, I don't know about this. But it wasn't actually that bad. It was actually not too bad. I was like,
There's the milkshake IPA. There's a sour milkshake IPAs now.
That sounds
good.
Good.
All these different the beer, like from the Reinheitsgebot of Germany to like what we have now. You could throw whatever the fuck you want in beer. Right. It's kind of America has kind of, or the United States has kind of like just run away with it, and we're always experimenting, and now you see, like I was talking with someone about this the other day, that you see different countries around the world kind of like emulating what we're doing here. We're coming out with the doubles, the triple IPAs. We're coming out with like I was saying, the milkshake IPAs and the sour milkshake IPAs, and all these different crazy additions for stouts, and we're hitting like these 15, 16, 17% beers that it's like not all of them are done well in my opinion, but it just takes that first step of seeing if you can get to that point, and then it's like and just building off of that.
There's a brewery here that's doing a Dunkaroos, Whataburger, and a Hot Cheetos.
I saw the Hot Cheetos.
Have you tried those?
Dunkaroos and Whataburger.
I haven't, because they're like an hour away, and you have to go there to, like, if I could do beer to go, I would have done it so that I could purchase it online and then pick it up, but they don't have that option, so I can't go in the middle of my work day. I can't do that.
I had seen someone drink that Hot Cheeto one. I didn't, like, she was a friend of mine. I didn't ask her if she actually enjoyed it, but I don't know, man. There's some things that should not be in beer.
Ask her if she enjoyed it. She did.
But I'll text her now and I'll let you guys know.
Hey, Martin House doing a Cheeto one.
That's who's doing all of them.
Okay.
They're doing a Dunkaroos. They already did the Hot Cheetos, and they're trying to do a Whataburger one.
Right, because I saw they made it like a TikTok, and they made a TikTok with the Cheeto beer. It was like, and the thing was cracking open the Cheeto beer, and it was like, oh, what is that? It's coming. So it's like, the side by side joint they do on TikTok, He did one of those.
Is the Dunkaroos one the Dunkaroos? Is that what it's called? Has it been
I don't
released yet,
know.
or they're doing it? Because I think I saw recently someone did a Dunkaroo. If it's not Martin House, it might be someone else that I think I saw that. But yeah, dude, there's the Trick cereal one. There's
Yeah.
All right.
I actually with Strange Beast before we jumped on with Lincoln's, there's a brewery that just opened up recently here in Miami called Unbranded, and they wanted to do a collab, and we just do stupid shit. So we did a Captain Crunch sour IPA.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Captain Crunch.
Huh.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
When you say Captain Crunch, you should think about a peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Yeah, that's it. It's Dunkaroos, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the picture that I saw.
Okay.
So
I'm not gonna drive an hour because I'm lazy. So I'm missing.
That is a
hey,
hype.
you said you got friends.
All right.
Listen, you know what? Thank you. I do need to use my resources.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, because if you got the OG Black is Beautiful, that's in San Antonio.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can-
Shout out to my friend Sarah because they went down there and they drove down there to get them. And luckily, it's nice to be nice. So people are nice to me because I'm nice to them.
All right. You
So-
attract more bees with honey or some shit something like that.
Hello. You
how
attract
it
more
go.
bees with honey than with vinegar.
All right. All right. Any more questions?
Nah.
All right. Well, I want to thank our guest, Thirsty Samurai Piggy and Coffee, the foodie.
Yes. Clap, clap, clap. Bravo.
This has been great, man. The banter was amazing.
I love it.
Also, want to shout out our surprise guest. What is it? What's her Instagram? Little Mari?
Little
Mari.
Mari with 3 eyes.
Little Mari.
3 eyes.
Little Mari.
That's a
Mari.
Little Mari.
Maria. Remind me of a West Side Story.
I used to love that song.
Right.
No, that song was banging.
Yeah,
So good, wasn't it?
it was.
But before we go, we always like to know how we can follow you on your Instagram or your blogs or.
Yo, he petty.
All right, again, Rob. Yo.
I did that because she came for me. But Coffee, how can people find you on these World Wide Webs?
So my blog's website is www.coffeethafoodie, so Coffee the Foodie. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Coffee the Foodie. And that's how you can get in touch with me.
That's what's up.
So, Thirsty?
So I'm gonna give it to you. Can follow my wife's lovely Instagram at Little Mari, little spelled out, Mari Marii. And then I am going to have I have to redo the website, but I'm putting up my nonprofit website, www.samuraipiggyandfriends, all spelled out.com. And you can follow me at Thirsty Samurai Piggy. There's underscores, but you'll be able to find Thirsty Samurai Piggy. That's all spelled out as well. And yeah. Oh, by the way, I do love the intro song to this because every time I do my beer reviews on YouTube, I open with
The horn.
So I
will say this though, Rob. I feel slighted because we didn't play a game, but I'm happy we didn't play a game because I suck at music.
It's funny. I did have a game, but it was already 2 hours. So I was like,
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm giving you a hard time about my blog.
We'll have the part 2 where we'll play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yo, Rob, maybe we could do a game later on, or next week or something. Just have everybody come on the live and do a game.
Yeah, well, because we'll be we'll get to that later, and in a second. Yo, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at 302 Yoda, and on Instagram at Delaware on Grind, and Facebook at Delaware on Grind.
Nice.
All right, Lou.
for all your beer needs.
Why? Back the fuck up.
Instagram. I am on them Instagram. Yoda, I like to say, I like you, man. I haven't seen your hair lately. You usually be wearing hats lately.
Oh
so
yeah. I do have hats. I got more hats coming soon.
40-year-old hairlines. I like
So crazy.
Lou's close up was to show off his beer game, but you know.
Man, fuck that beard.
1.5 years on this thing, baby. 1.5 years. What you got, Samurai?
Ooh, I said 2 weeks.
I said 1 month. 1 month.
Right.
1 month.
2 weeks.
Beat you by a landslide, Lou. Beat you by a landslide.
2 weeks, you bald face.
You literally can go snowboarding on Samurai's
He probably thinking, you call it a beard? That bullshit.
Say the beard is weird.
That's what I look like when I shave.
Right.
The day after I shave, that's what I have.
That's what I got.
But yeah,
Top that.
I'm representing my day after a shave for Samurai with my beard. I appreciate it.
All right.
But yeah, you can find me.
All right, Dev, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at DevinAaron_the_great. Ask about me.
All right. And you can find Brews and Banter Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can listen to us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts like iHeartRadio and Pandora. You can follow me on whatever my Instagram is. You can follow that on the Brews and Banter Podcast page. I don't remember what it is. It's like Rob of BBP or some shit like that. But if you want to find me, you can find that. I don't go on there that much, so it's hard to remember what it is.
It's fun.
And like Dev said before, next week we will be live streaming the podcast around 7 o'clock p.m. I'll get the name straight, but we will live stream our podcast. So if you have a question or you want to jump in, you can just jump in, throw the comments in, and we'll be live from our Facebook page, Brews and Banter Podcast. So you can just check it out. We'll be live sampling some beers and just talking about some of the content that we have missed on talking about, like what? What you think about what?
Oh yeah, right.
Let's talk about that.
So,
we ain't gonna talk about that right now. Wait.
It's gonna be pretty interesting. It's gonna get real
I'm actually
live.
expecting y'all to ask about that, so that's funny. I'm going to be watching that.
I'm ready.
We'll probably talk about some verses that we want to see, whether it be in the brewery game or in music. We got a lot of diversity between the four of us, so we probably gonna talk about a whole lot of shit.
Right. And yo, if you like to brew, what you got to do?
Oh, if you like to brew, what you got to do? I like that, Rob.
Good saying.
Who is the rapper in this group? Who's the rapper?
Apparently it's Rob.
Yeah.
Hit him with the bars on him.
Right.
If you do like the brew, you want to get a brew kit, well, even for like your wines and kombucha and all that good shit, you can go to www.craftforbrew.com and get your kits, and you can put in the promo code BBP4, and you'll get 15% off your order.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
All
shout out
right.
to Craft for Brew.
That's right. All right. Until next time, if your friends don't know about the crew, tell a friend or two. All right.
Oh!
Yes.
If you don't know about the
rubbing
brew,
off.
that's right. Have a good week.
All right, y'all.